wonder how they're going to replace that production.
Yeah, and I think we talked about this for a while, even going back a couple months ago when we started talking about, the free agents hitting in general and what that was going to look like here. And, I had the conversation of the running backs. It feels like they're easier to replace a lot of times, especially recently. And you're seeing a lot of teams kind of turn that way, even though the running back value has gone up. We've seen the last couple years the running backs are getting paid again, which is great. But I think that teams are also realizing that, especially after the last couple years, you find running backs in the draft and you can develop those guys even in late rounds. And so that a lot of teams are kind of shifting towards that. And especially if you have an offensive scheme that has just worked so well in the run. And we talk about Travis Etienne here and his touchdowns, but Liam Cohen did the same exact thing with Bucky Brooks and, company with the running backs down there in Tampa. And then that kind of dropped off. So it seems like there's like this common denominator of Liam Cohen's offense fits well and can make running backs work. And so they may be leaning in towards that. It is a bummer because I love Travis Etienne. He's been such a good dude when it comes to just like the person he is in the city and the teammate and all of those things. Obviously, this year kind of having that resurgence he did, going back to rumors of he was going to get traded in the offseason and Liam Cohen shutting those down, and then him having a prove-it year and doing what he did, and now he gets to go home.
Yeah, first of all, I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of dinero he gets.
The compensation,
I hope he does. I mean, look, Kenneth Walker III got 15 a year from Kansas City. So and then the guy from Dallas signed for like 8, but that was more for like stay with the team. Give you a deal, let's get it done. So it's got to be somewhere in there. I think it'd be closer to the 15 than the 8. But look, they drafted 2 running backs for a reason. And Tootin is the heir, apparent to take over and be the lead horse. If I'm him, I'm working on my hands constantly. I would have been doing that already. We've been make sure you can catch that rock. Remember last year they got away from the screen game a little bit with their running backs. You got to wonder, is that something that factored in? I'm sure they made a run. Of course they did. And by the way, you don't get credit for making a run. I love all these people. Oh, he went after Max. Well, who cares? You didn't get him. Yeah. It doesn't matter if you don't get him. It means nothing that you tried to go. That's your job to go try to get in the run and make your team better. But look, I hope he broke the bank. I hope he has just a phenomenal career. He's been a great Jaguar. Love to have him back, but, that's the business, and it does suck because you get, emotionally attached to these guys and you've seen what they've done and you feel like the team's on the rise and he's been through it all, hurt his first year, and then everything else that's gone through.
Which he jokingly said it was a good year to be to be injured because that was the
no doubt. But, look, they last year he was their insurance policy for the young rookies they drafted.
He was the offense at certain points of the season.
Especially early. Very
sure.
much so. But that's, when you get a new regime come in, they look at their guys. They drafted 2 young guys. They bring back DJ Dallas for the return game. Maybe they look at the draft a little bit more. Maybe they're, Rashad White is a guy they bring in from Tampa, who's now a free agent. Who knows what they do, but I could see, I wouldn't have let him. I wouldn't have broke the bank to keep him here. I wouldn't have. I'd have said, I'd say, no, you go ahead, man. Go get what you can get, and God love you. But we're going to move on with our young guys and whoever else we may bring to the table.
We know that they love speed, right? So if they decide to go in the draft, we saw a guy like Arkansas running back Mike Washington run a 4.33. Bashal Tootin the year before obviously ran 4.32. So if they go in that direction, I would expect them to get another fast running back.
Yep.
But I think for Jags fans, this is hard because you thought that Travis Etienne was a guy that you could picture being a Jaguar for his entire career. Even though with running backs, that happens less and less these days. But he did feel like a guy that was Duval through and through, right? And so better the Saints than the Titans, I will say that. I talked to a friend over the weekend, actually right when we started the River Run. He was like, Etienne's not going to pull his brother, is he? I was like, oh, you're right. Because obviously, his brother went from Florida to Georgia. And so, becoming a Titan after being a Jag would be a hard thing. Yeah. But I'm interested to see, like you said, the compensation for it. We just saw that Wan'Dale Robinson is headed to the Titans.
Okay.
And he got 4 years, $78 million with $38 million guaranteed. Don't ever be surprised by these large numbers.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, they're only going to keep going up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
4 years, $52
million.
13 a year. What's that, 13 a year?
Yep. Good for him.
Good for him.
Yeah, love that for him. Yeah. I think we talked so much this year about those guys when you categorize what ETN was, what Lloyd was, even guys like Antonio Johnson, and the years that they came in and had when you know, it was a perfect opportunity for them for an Etienne and a Lloyd to earn money, for an Antonio Johnson to earn a starting spot on the roster. And so it's always cool to, and Buster Brown also. And I think that the one thing I don't like about some of and this is just me speculating some things of what's happening, because now we saw Kansas City take Kenneth Walker, and then you saw the Saints take Etienne, which were two teams rumored to be after Jeremiah Love. So now I'm like, well, maybe they're hearing Tennessee is really heavy in on Jeremiah Love, which, Lauren, you weren't here last week, but when we talked to the Tennessee Titans guy, he said that's kind of where it seems they're leaning. That's the last place I want Jeremiah Love to land, honestly. So that scares me a little bit, because it makes me think that they're hearing that that's where they're leaning in the draft.
Yeah. I mean, look, he's a great prospect coming out, one of the best probably in recent times. He's big and he's fast, but you got to have beef up front to smash him in the face and hopefully not do too much damage when we play them. But I mean, look, it's a great market. 13 mil, congrats. I mean, that's awesome.
It's a far cry from what it was a few years ago.
Very happy for Travis Etienne Jr. I wish it was here, but it's not. And hey man, hats off to you. Again, we talked about him all year about coming into the season. Nobody thought he was the guy. Everyone thought he was the one that was going to be gone. He was the one that may be traded. Bigsby's going to take over. Tootin's even faster. Blah, 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 blah. And all he did was show up in great shape and determination and had a phenomenal year. I'm not worried about them replacing him in the running game. I think they can upgrade him in the running game. I think Tootin has that capability. It's what we have in the pass game, because he is dynamic in the pass game. He's very hard to cover in open space. You get Etienne out in the open, it's tough to cover him one-on-one.
3 receiving touchdowns in one game.
Yeah, no doubt. And I even thought he could be involved in more even of the route tree, not just screens and that type of thing. So we have to replace that. I don't know if we have that on the roster right now. Maybe LeQuint can become that. I don't know. I don't feel like. And this is not a knock on either Tootin or LeQuint Allen Jr., and maybe it just takes more time, but they're nowhere near as smooth catching the rock as Travis Etienne Jr. Travis had soft, he just made it look easy when the ball was, in the right vicinity for him. So if they we got to find something to replace that. I'm sure they're confident. But again, you draft your guys. These are your guys. You knew eventually Tootin, that's why they drafted him, to take over for Travis Etienne. And by the way he ran in the wild card game, we all thought, like, man, give him like 5, 6, 7 more carries, Bashal Tootin, and we'd be so excited. And if we saw that, you know what I mean? Let's just say that happened. We'd be like, oh, yeah, like, we want Tootin, Yeah. But I'm happy for Travis, happy for his family. That's great news.
I kind of wish we'd gotten to see more of Tootin throughout the year just to get a better idea of what they had. But I also understand you're trying to win football games. You're not planning for the future.
Losing him,
Correct.
or what that looks like. You, especially on the run they were going through at that point of time, you're just thinking about, and that's what we heard Liam say constantly, that you're 1-0, and that's what they're focused on. And so and that's what maybe is a little bit more frustrating about the postseason, even, is because the way Tootin was playing and then not giving him the ball in the second half, just in the terms of losing, we've talked in that. But now also it would have been nice to have that, like, oh, well, we're coming off a playoff game where Tootin had, X amount of yards and multiple touchdowns. But
you know what is annoying today?
What?
The illegal tamper. I mean, or legal tamper.
It's allowed now.
I mean, it doesn't make it. Just open it up. Like, you're doing deals. You're making deals. Now, you're not maybe exchanging money yet, right, until it's official?
Yeah.
But what is this, and who came up with this? I should have done a research. But what is the thinking?
I'm sure the agents came up with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, we're not talking already?
Oh, they're
talking. They're talking already. That's what
one
I'm
of the
saying.
reports said Alec Pierce had been talking to the Steelers for like days now at this point. And so it's already known. It's like the illegal tampering, then legal. And it's the new league year when contracts can become official on Wednesday. And so they, I guess, want to give it a couple days so you can really
they want the news.
They want to be able to have
but
this.
I'm just saying,
that's why the NFL does everything.
Boom, open. We're open for business.
There are
Go.
other sports going on. Nobody's paying a lick of attention today because the NFL is in the news, and that's why they have it like that. The agents make money, the players make money, the teams spend a bunch of money, and the NFL is in the news constantly.
Because then on Wednesday, the NFL gets another day where it's like, we already know, but they're going to be like, it's official, the Saints sign Travis Etienne for X amount. And then you get some more details of contracts a lot of times of what bonuses and some of that stuff look like. So they get the Monday, Tuesday of the legal tampering. And then on Wednesday they get, oh, here we are again. And it's the beginning of the new league year. The NFL rules the world, and they've done really well of their schedule of making sure everyone's paying attention to them all the time. And that's
They're
what
like
it's
a
about.
2-year-old. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. That's the NFL.
Or Jerry Jones.
Mom.
Exactly. For just 6 weeks. That's the only time that they take that nap. Otherwise, they're in our faces. It is Players Week, so of course we'll talk golf this week. We'll talk college basketball, but as far as right now, the NFL certainly dominates. I was just thinking about how Travis Etienne, like I said, and Trevor Lawrence have been together for so long. Like, I wonder how Trevor feels right now. Even though you know it's a big
He's happy that he got the money.
He's
for
probably
sure.
pumped for him.
I mean, come on. That's life-changing, forever. And he deserves it. So it's a great story. Again, I'm sure he's a little disappointed it's not here. They both are probably, but go to New Orleans, rip it up, man. Just don't beat us when we play you.
Yeah, at least it's not in division.
You're not the enemy
then that
until
would hurt
we play
even
you.
more.
Yeah,
You know,
for sure. All right, more NFL on the other side. Keep it right here. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on a Big Chief Tire Monday. It's 10 to XL 92.5 FM.
Some of the biggest names in golf take home the trophy.
And Rory McIlroy is a Players Champion.
Catch live Southeast Orthopedic Specialist leaderboard updates.
Teed up by LiveForeverGolf.com, Atlantic Infinity, and Firehouse Subs.
Helmets and Heels.
Backed by Green Law Group.
For the insured.
Fighting for you.
When you're injured, you need more than legal advice. You need someone who truly cares. I'm Chris Campione, and at Campione Law, I take pride in what we do. You're never just another case. We take the time to listen, guide you through the process, and fight for your recovery every step of the way. And remember, you pay nothing unless we win. Zip, nada, nothing. Learn more at CampioneLaw.com. Offices, Jacksonville and St. Augustine.
Count on Campione, Campione Law.
Hey, this is Lauren Brooks, and if you think Closets by Design is just closets, you've got to see their brand new showroom at Phillips and Emerson. It is amazing what they can do. So go see for yourself how they custom design organization for any space. Garages, laundry rooms, bedrooms, even the man cave. It's all about smart storage that fits your lifestyle and budget. Schedule an appointment to meet with a design consultant today and tour the showroom for ideas you can see and touch. Start your process at closetsbydesign.com.
Helmets and Heels.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday. The local Jacksonville shop for fair prices and service you can trust.
Transmission troubles? I'm Robin Sidbury, owner of Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road. So come in and see how we can help solve your transmission troubles. We service all makes and models. Remember, get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
Hey, it's Brent with Arcosa Crushed Concrete. If you've got concrete or asphalt rubble on your site, let me buy it from you, and I will recycle it into construction material for your future projects. Arcosa Crushed Concrete. Get paid for what you don't need.
Don't miss the Bari Breakdown with Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime, Wednesdays around 1:35 for the latest in sports injuries from all the big names in the game. Who's MIA? Who's coming back? Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime, Wednesdays at 1:35 on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Ahead, we build platforms for digital business. We help create your platform for digital business by weaving together advances in cloud infrastructure, intelligent operations, and modern applications. Digital business is comprised of 5 pillars. We call them imperatives because they're a must-have, not a nice-to-have. We enterprise cloud, integrated security, scaled DevOps, intelligent operations, and relentless automation. Need help with digital transformation? Ahead. Learn, grow, achieve.
The Players' Championship returns to TPC Sawgrass March 10th through 15th. Experience golf's most iconic stage with enhanced food and beverage offerings, interactive fan attractions, and an atmosphere built for every type of fan. See the best players in the world, including world number 1 Scotty Scheffler, 2025 champion Rory McIlroy, and fan favorite Brooks Koepka take on the legendary Stadium Course and the famous Island Green. Tickets available at theplayers.com.
In the game of vehicle performance and reliability, Atlantic Infinity is always the top pick. This is Hayes Carlyon. Did you know that every certified pre-owned Infinity is inspected, factory-backed, with a limited warranty, and gets the same championship-level service as a brand-new Infinity? Every mile will feel like first class. Check out their full certified inventory now at AtlanticInfinity.com or visit Atlantic Infinity off Atlantic near St. John's Bluff.
Hey, gang, Prosser here for my friends Chad and Sandy. What are your concerns? What struggles do you anticipate when it comes time to sell your home? What is it that bothers you? What's keeping you from getting max money as quickly as possible? Well, I don't know what those reasons are because I know they're all silly. Because Chad and Sandy have one down-to-the-line guarantee. Your home sold guaranteed, or they will buy it. It'll be at a price and a rate that you agree upon beforehand. So if you need to sell now, fast, easy, stress-free, and you need max price, then you need Chad and Sandy. The government's making moves intended to push mortgage rates lower. The last time rates dropped, we saw a selling and buying frenzy. Now's the time to prepare. It's time to call Chad and Sandy. Darcy in San Jose did. I wanted to move to a more walkable, vibrant area. Within 3 days of working with Chad and Sandy's team, I found the perfect home. They do it stress-free with a guarantee. Go to chadandsandy.com or call 414-6200. That's chadandsandy.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
It's a big Chief Tire Monday here on Helmets and Heels. You can find them online. WeKeepJacksRollin.com. The Parman family, big Jaguars fans. I have a feeling they're probably sad to see Travis Etienne go. In case you missed it at the top of the show, yes, Travis Etienne Jr. is signing with the Saints, reportedly a 4-year deal worth $52 million. Like we said, better to the Saints than an in-division rival like the Titans or the Texans. But, of course, the Texans made some moves last week getting David Montgomery. I think when it comes to the guys that the Jaguars are bringing back, like a Quentin Morris, like a Dennis Gardeck, like a Buster Brown who signed a 3-year deal worth around $33 million, those are all great pieces.
Mm-hmm.
We just want to know offensively what is going to be the plan. If Bashal Tootin, and I guess it's Bashal Tootin, we're going to get it right. Bashal Tootin, if he gets injured, what's the plan? Obviously, the Jaguars still have the rest of free agency. They have the draft and things like that. But that's the part that I'm always a little bit worried about.
How about the big running back that's on the practice squad that they re-signed? Jaquindon, right?
Jaquindon Jackson.
Yeah. I mean, look, let's see I want to see him a year too. I mean, I don't know if what's he going to be, but he was intriguing enough to be like, he's a big dude that can run, like powerful running back, a thumper type. But they're going to need somebody in the pass game. Help. So.
Yeah, and I think that when it comes to those names that we've been talking about that you'd lose with an Etienne and a Lloyd and a Buster, what those look like, the one I was most concerned about was Buster Brown. I felt like that was going to drastically change the corner room, and I think you would have had to there's a lot of things you'd have to figure out if that was the case. I think that with the running back, I think with the offense in general and how you felt they were scoring down the stretch, even when the running game wasn't working as well as you'd probably like it to, that gives you confidence that you'll be okay and you could probably get through. I would expect another move. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know if it means another, a cheaper free agent that's still out there, or if they do look in the draft. This isn't a good draft for running back, so you'll probably be getting a later one that you're taking a bit of a chance on, is what it seems like when I've talked to a lot of the draft people. But I think that you're going to make some move. I don't know if that's something that's going to drastically change compared to what we're looking at right now, but I think they feel like they're fine. I think they feel like the offense can run efficiently and you don't need some $14 million running back is what I think. Yeah. Yep. I think they're back in negative now after the deal's done today.
Yeah, I'm happy for Travis. I'm not sitting there going, oh no, what are we, you know what I mean? Like, he's a good player. He's a really good player, but I think we'll be all right.
You can upgrade if Tootin is a guy that can hold on to the football, doesn't have any fumbling issues like he had in college. Like we said, is super fast. He might be better between the tackles than Etienne.
I think he is.
Yeah, he is definitely. He's just more of a thumper. That's all. He's
we just haven't seen a ton of it.
Right. We haven't seen enough to be like, all right, here's a little microcosm that's going to turn into this. But he did show a lot of promise, especially later in the year, especially in that wild card game. We all know we would have given him the ball more. But again, you draft a guy, he's your guy. You want him to work. You're happy for Travis, and then we'll figure it out. Maybe we do, look at a couple guys from Tampa. I think there's one free agent, Rashad White, right?
Yeah.
And there's another guy. I want to say maybe he's an exclusive rights guy. Like you'd have to give up something for him. But maybe they go back. Look, they grabbed the running game coordinator from Tampa in the offseason, right? He's now with the Jags, so maybe there's a connection, with the Tampa running backs. I mean, if they got Rashad White, we'd feel fine, wouldn't we? I mean, we'd be like, all right, we're in a good spot.
Yeah.
And then, because look, it's all going to run through Trev.
Right.
That's just the way it is. But you do need a back that can, carry the load. And we all know how important it is. You need a running game when you need a running game. Like when you're trying to run down the clock or, trying to get that 4-minute offense going or just to keep some pressure off your damn quarterback.
Yeah, or if your quarterback's having a bad day, which happens from
Correct.
time to time, you
Right.
need to be able to hand the ball off. We would have started the show with the exciting news about Buster Brown being re-signed.
Yeah, I'm happy
However,
for
that
him, too.
ETN news happened. Look, Buster Brown, super physical corner.
Yeah.
Clearly, Campanile loves him, or else they wouldn't have brought him back in his own scheme. And a guy that we saw makes an incredible interception this past year. Even Trevor Lawrence, they had him talk about it on video a couple weeks ago. Buster Brown also seems absolutely beloved by all the coaches, the other players, and he's a great teammate. He wanted to stay in Jacksonville. We saw reports that potentially the Eagles were going to try
Offered
and get
more.
him. Yep, but Buster wanted to stay here, and he had his availability a little bit earlier today, and he was super excited. And I think the defense is better with him starting maybe opposite Travis Hunter. With then nickel corner, you got Jordan Lewis, you've got Jarian Jones, and then safeties, you got Antonio Johnson, and then you've got Caleb Branshaw kind of battling Eric Murray at that point in time. And so I think you feel good about your secondary moving forward.
Yeah, and I think that one of the next gen stats posted that Monteric Brown allowed the 4th lowest passer rating among outside corners in 2025, and that's with a minimum 50 targets. The guys around him are Jamal Dean, Derek Stingley, Quinion Mitchell. So that's some good names to be up there with. And so,
And 12 passes broken up that led the team. People don't always remember the passes defense as much as they remember the interception.
But sometimes that just means they're not afraid to go to you.
Yeah.
You know what
Also
I mean?
true.
So it's good you're making the plays, but they're not like you'll see guys that have like hardly any, like
Right.
a sauce and just throw it out
Right.
there. That's because they're afraid to go to him. But it's not a knock on Buster. It's just look, he's making the plays when it's
But it's not like
happening.
the other corner was phenomenal, right? Like Tyson Campbell early in the season, Greg Newsome, once they traded
No,
for him.
you're
It's
right.
not like they had a lockdown corner and then Buster was on the other side.
Yeah. And that's what I think. And we'd have to go back and look at game by game and what that looked like. But I could see early in the season, I felt like maybe he was getting picked on a little bit more. And then later in the season, you kind of stopped seeing that because I do think that the other corner on the other side, especially Greg Newsome, when he would struggle, they did feel like they picked on him quite a bit in the second half of the season. And so Buster was on number 1 wide receivers and was, down the stretch. And we saw some liabilities in the secondary and on the defense at times this last season. They got a lot of turnovers, but then they would allow some big plays that you don't want to see those to continue. And so some of that you just want to continue to develop out. But Buster Brown, I just also feel like seems like a Coach Camp type of player. And that's why you can tell, and maybe that's pieces of why, some of these rumors of he took less to come back to Jacksonville. And then it just seemed like he felt like his fit was best here. And I think sometimes accepting that is good. Like you're still getting some money, you're getting paid quite a bit of money, but you get to stay where you feel like you fit the defense the best.
Yeah, and look, I mean, what a great story. 7th round pick, and he's a physical corner. He fits the defense. He fits the scheme. He was a standout last year. There's no doubt about it. When you pick guys that had really good years, number 30 had a really good year. He didn't have a phenomenal year, but it's tough to have a phenomenal year as a corner, especially when you're not getting home consistently as a defensive line. So I think it's a great pick. I'm happy for him, happy for his family. That's, again, life-changing money for a job well done and just working your way up the ranks. Those guys, those are the ones you want to reward. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're like, man, he's humble. He comes in, he works his ass off. He gets better every day. He doesn't complain, works hard in the weight room, works hard in the meeting. You know what I mean? Like practices hard. He's just our kind of guy, and he's a really good player. This is one we just got to get done, right? Because he's one of our, we didn't pick him, but he's one of ours. He fits what we want. He loves the game of football, and he fits our defensive scheme. So let's get it done. So it's a good move.
Yeah,
Good move.
I think the attitude plays a huge role in the guys that they're going to keep. And so we talk about, are they going to extend Trayvon Walker or when will that happen? Trayvon, I think, yes, not their guy as far as this regime didn't pick him. But as far as attitude and will do the dirty work and everything, I would put him in that category too, as well as obviously Dennis Gardeck, who they just re-signed. And then on the offensive side, Quentin Morris. He's not asking for the ball like Brenton Strange is going to get the football, but he's certainly willing to do all the things that he's asked to do.
And he's a good athlete. And they've tried to get him the ball a few times. And he made a couple catches. He's got a continue to grow as a receiver. But he's a vicious blocker, but he's a really good athlete. Both him and Brenton are big enough guys and fast enough, and they're really, really good athletes in that open space. So I thought it was good. Gardeck, to me, like every team needs a Gardeck.
Yeah.
He's just, his production speaks for itself. But having a guy like that gives it 110%, weight room, practice room, practice field, game day. You know what I mean? Like it's specialty. It don't matter. He's playing as hard as he can. That is contagious. That's what I mean. Like when you need, every team needs a Dennis Gardeck type of player that'll just he'll be in that weight room when other guys aren't. You know what I mean? Or he'll be doing extra stuff. Or maybe you're feeling like crap on a Wednesday, but there's number 47 running around with his hair on fire and during practice in the middle of the year. That kind of thing. So Andy's a really good player. So I think that was both him and to see Monteric and Gardeck get signed, that made me feel good today, for sure.
Absolutely. And then look, Gardeck maybe will be used more as a pass rusher this season.
He needs to be.
Right?
He
That's
should.
what he's good at.
Yeah. And I think I remember when the Jags got Gardeck and everything we were hearing from Arizona was just everyone was bummed there. And that's always that indication of you're getting a good player and a good human. And that's part of it too, because every single person, whether it was talking to Cardinals reporters or it was on Twitter, nobody had a bad thing to say about Gardeck. And that's obviously transferred here very quickly. And I do think you would hope you'd see more of him, because when you go through, the 6 tackles for loss, you were going through some of those numbers that RJ mentioned earlier. But I mean, just in the rotational small bit of time out there, being able to pressure the quarterback he did and do some of those things, that's a player that you want to see have a little bit bigger role this year.
25 pressures, 3 sacks, 35 total tackles.
Yeah, 9 hits.
Only a half a sack less than Trayvon Walker.
Yeah, and 9 hits. I mean, he got after it, 6
And
TFL.
he was hurt in training camp.
Yeah.
So we didn't really get to see what he was going to be able to do with the knee. And look, once they realized it, though, why didn't he go in more situational pass rushing situations? And especially when Trayvon was hurt, why didn't he get a little bit more of that? Probably not nearly as good against the run, I understand.
I mean, you look at him and then look at BJ Green the second. Maybe he can give you something as a situational, rotational, more of a pass rush type guy. Maybe that solution is on the roster.
Yeah.
You still got to figure out interior though, the D line. You do, and I don't.
John Franklin Myers, we're still available.
Well, here's the thing. It's interesting. So they restructured.
Definitely got to figure out money for that one.
They didn't restructure Eric to date, right?
Correct.
So he's still there. So that can mean one of a couple things, right, for Eric. One, they're just going to ride it out and let him play for the year. 2 is they're going to post June, cut him, and then save all that money.
Which Jamal St. Cyr said it almost doubles if they do the post June 1st.
It gets to 14, 15 million. Yeah, big time. So, there's only 1 or 2 ways to go. Now, if you want to make a splash, then you got to free up that money. And there's only so many you can go to. I think D-Ham's at 8. You could probably get something out of that. I don't know if you can you do Trevor even though the New Year's just started? You know what I mean? Maybe so. I would imagine you can do something there. But you would only do that if you need a big chunk of money to go after somebody. You know what I'm saying? So to me, when they didn't do anything with Eric, it's still up in the air. What are they going to do with him? Are you going to eat are you going to keep the 18 million on the books or 17 million on the books for the 1 year and hope he plays his ass off for you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or are you going to say, you know what? I think it's time to move on and go another direction. But you'd have to bring in.
Yeah.
That's what
Then
I'm
you'd
saying.
really have
That's
to
when
address
you would
it.
do it.
Yeah.
Let me throw this out at
And
you.
we don't know anything about Mason Smith, how they feel about him, other than he was a healthy
true,
scratch.
true.
That's all we need.
Which doesn't
know
usually
right now.
seem good.
Let me throw this at you if I can, and maybe we won't have time in this break. But so rumors were we were in the mix for Max Crosby. Did you hear that or see that? I don't know if they're true, but the word was first round plus Brian Thomas and whatever else to get Max Crosby.
But we
right?
don't have a first round, which is part of the problem.
It would have to
Well,
been next year's.
Next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, 27. So I guess they wouldn't offer 28 or didn't want to, or maybe they didn't want to wait that long. Who knows? But if we were in the running for Max Crosby, right? And I don't know if we were. It seems like maybe we were. That's great. You don't get credit for that. I'm just saying, I'm bringing it up. Why wouldn't you be in the running for Trey Hendrickson? It's still going to cost you anything.
Yeah.
And he can
Well, it has
change.
to cost. It costs you money.
Money,
It costs
yeah,
you
the
a
contract.
You're
capital.
eventually going to
Yeah.
have. I mean,
Capital.
you're going to eventually going to have to pay Max again. I know you just signed a new deal, but eventually, in a couple of years,
You're
you're
gonna
like,
have to
he's
do
like,
that,
yo,
yeah.
man, I want big money again. So just if my thinking is if they're into that realm, why wouldn't they try to figure out something with a guy like Trey Hendrickson?
I'd love Trey Hendrickson here. I just don't know that they have the resources at this
You
point
would
in
have
time.
to move from Eric. That's it. You know
Yeah,
what
I
I
think
mean?
you'd have to
Those
do more
kind,
than
you
that.
would.
Yeah.
But D-Ham and Eric, you could restructure or post June cut, and I think you got about 25 out of
yeah.
those two. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think what to me the Max Crosby thing just basically says, and I could be wrong, but to me it says James Gladstone wants people to know that they believe they're in their Super Bowl window, and being at least interested in Max Crosby, and maybe they're trying to send a message to BTJ too. That part I don't know, but to me that's what it kind of indicates. If they knew that the Raiders were going to want to first, they are very clearly understanding that they don't have this year's first to offer, and I don't think they were going to wait.
Well,
for the
again,
next two.
if you believe that, then Hendrickson fits that bill too.
He
If
absolutely
that's the
does.
Super Bowl window.
Right.
You know, and you guys already know this, but it's amazing. You look back, they had a thing over the weekend on Twitter. I think it was the Rams since 2017. No first until Jared Verse in 24.
Yeah, F
like the
pick.
whole. Right, but that's like you can build. That's just not Stafford, by the way. That's multiple. Just unbelievable that you can get. Maybe that's an interesting strategy. You
It's
know?
funny because that's how, like, for so long, that was the Rams thing was, okay, you know, for F them picks, whatever, we don't care. And that kind of feels like where James Gladstone has been in the sense of maybe not dropping. We haven't seen him drop any like massive contracts in free agency, but obviously trading up for Travis Hunter and giving picks in that sense, making a phone call and being willing to give up a future first and a player shows that, you know, he's willing to be aggressive, but maybe not willing to drop a ton of money right now. And that's why I think the Trey Hendrickson thing is a little bit separate.
Yeah, it makes
Well,
sense
you
to
still
me.
have to pay Max, though. He's $35 million. I mean, that's what I think his new
but
deal
Trey
was.
getting that new contract is going to
But
bump
that's
him
only
up to
2 years.
everything. Yeah.
It'd be like around 35. It would be the
He
same
did,
money.
yeah, he did a year deal with the Bengals this past year.
You could probably do a 2-year deal with him, 70 mil.
Look, like I said, I'd love
don't know.
to get another elite pass rusher or maybe an elite pass rusher on this team. No offense to Josh and Trayvon, but I just don't know if that's in the cards. But certainly we'll be paying attention to everything that comes out. We could have spent the full 2-hour show just reading off every single
All of the
transaction
moves.
that's happened in the NFL because there are so many. All right, we will keep that conversation going. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on a Big Chief Tire Monday, 10 to XL, 92.5 FM.
Helmets and Heels, provided by Green Law Group. Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
I'm from a small town, man. Our town's most famous Lee Harvey Oswald went to our middle school. True story. Basketball player Pistol Pete Maravich lived and died in our town, so 2 good shooters. From downtown, both of them.
From his Netflix special, Regular People, comedian Theo Vaughn's Return of the Rat Tour. 3 shows, Friday and Saturday, March 13th and 14th at Florida Theater. Get tickets now at theovaughn.com.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday on Helmets and Heels.
What does your dream backyard look like? The team at CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living can design an outdoor kitchen layout custom built to your taste and lifestyle. You dream it, they can build it. At CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. CSSOutdoor.com.
I'm Frank Franzi, and I just got back from the farm at Okefenokee in Folkestone. Man, was I impressed. You have to see these handcrafted cabins. But act fast. On this 1,000-acre farm, there will only be 250 cabins. Each phase has jumped in value, so come get your lot and lock in your equity. Enjoy living in harmony with nature, going to the grocery store in your own backyard, and connecting with people grounded in food and purpose. Learn more at okefarm.com. That's okefarm.com.
Here's a health and wellness tip from orthopedic specialists of Jacksonville.
This is Dr. Hiram Carrasquillo, orthopedic surgeon, fellowship training foot and ankle conditions from the orthopedic specialist of Jacksonville. Achilles tendon injuries are common in athletes, but most can be prevented. Warm up properly, stretch your calves, build strength gradually, and wear supportive shoes. Listen to your body. Don't push through pain. Protect your Achilles so you can stay in the game. For more tips, visit osjax.com.
Stay healthy with orthopedic specialists of Jacksonville.
Has someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI, domestic violence, and all criminal offenses. In your battle with the justice system, there's only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645. 354-5645.
You want a new fence, but you don't want the hassle. That's why there's Superior Fence and Rail. They're the best in town, offering lightning-fast one-day installations, plus a lifetime labor warranty for total peace of mind. And here's the best part. Book by March 17th, and they'll take down and haul away your old fence for free, up to a $500 value. So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail today.
SuperiorFenceandRail.com. Are high-interest credit cards and other loans sucking the life out of your finances? It's time to say no more. Let Loan Pronto tap the equity on your home and get the cash you need now so you can pay it all off. Hey, it's Prosser here. Corey and Jack called Loan Pronto in a matter of days. They had $160,000. They kept their 3% mortgage intact, didn't even need an appraisal, and with all that cash, they wiped out all their credit cards and 2 car loans, saving $2,000 a month. You can do it too. LoanPronto.com, the rapid equity loan program, can get you $100,000, $200,000, even $500,000 in cash. Chloe and Ethan just did it. Consolidated all their high-interest debt into one super low monthly payment, giving them an extra $1,000 a month. Imagine, pay off all the credit cards, slash your monthly payments, breathe easier. Get your life back. Interest rates are at 3-year lows. Call Loan Pronto today, 904-999-1500. That's 904-999-1500, or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Royal Pest Services, a local company you can trust. Royal Pest is a certified installer of tap insulation, which stands for thermal, acoustic, and pest control. Reduce that electric bill by adding pest protection. It's that easy. Online at royalpestservices.com.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey ham, melted cheddar and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's team time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, Aaron Williams filling in for RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you, and it certainly has already been a frenzy. But you know what? Let's give away some tickets for this weekend's Celtic Festival down in St. Augustine at the Francis Field. It is a fantastic festival, and if you want to go be cloud number 3, 641-1010, cloud number 3, and you are headed to the Celtic Festival, not Celtic, Celtic Festival down in St. Augustine.
Is that where they do they throw the big, the stones, or like they have those kind of
I think you're thinking of the Scotland
games.
I think is what you're thinking of. I don't know
what
if
do
they
the Irish
have
do?
that.
Just drink,
Pretty much.
fight each other,
And dance.
drink, dance, and fight
The
each
Irish
other.
jig, and they're all
Perfect.
happy and
What a
everything.
day.
Yeah, it sounds like an absolute blast. By the way, it is Players Week, and the Saturday tickets are already sold out.
Yes.
So
Sorry,
if
guys.
so if you want to go, we've been telling
you for weeks. You missed it.
That is correct. I went to the preview party, the Players preview party on Friday, and filmed some videos with Jacob Simons and Emmanuel Thalleran, also known as ET.
Yep.
And the players do a fantastic job.
That was cool.
Yeah. So if you don't have your tickets yet for any day other than Saturday, make sure you get your tickets. Friday might also sell out.
Yep.
So as we were heading to break, we got the news that Mike Evans, no longer a Tampa Bay Buccaneer,
Yeah.
3 years with the 49ers.
3 years is kind of crazy, honestly.
3 years is, for an aging receiver,
He'll never
absolutely.
He'll
Look,
never
he's
play that third year. I bet.
Probably not. But he's I think Hall of Famer. I can no longer say first ballot for anyone because we have
no
the Belichick
doubt.
stuff.
No doubt.
But he's a no doubt Hall of Famer. Great receiver. The Bucs are losing both Mike Evans and Jamel Dean. They're really good cornerbacks. So whereas the Jags fans are feeling the loss so far of ETN, most likely also Devin Lloyd, Bucs fans are also feeling it right now.
Yeah.
They
And
are.
I'm
They
sure,
are.
I feel like Mike Evans is who Mike Evans is. We had the conversation that last year he got injured, and it was unfortunate that he couldn't hit that 1,000 yards because every other year in his career he did it. But I also do think they're probably like, all right, we saw what Emeka Egbuka did last year and the other young Jalen McMillan. So they kind of feel this young, fresh wide receivers coming in. And when you talk about, we've mentioned the window and how long those windows stay open. And at first I was like, well, that's, it shows you the windows aren't open forever. But now they're honestly like, okay, well, we've started to reset already. And at least offensively with the Bucky Irving and those two wide receivers, and Baker still has a lot of football to play too, you would expect. So I think offensively, they're probably okay. Their defense has been last several years losing a lot of pieces of their defense. So I do think that that's something that they'll probably have to focus on this offseason.
Yeah, I mean, Brock Purdy's happy as all get out getting a guy like Mike Evans. Good for Mike Evans going to a contender, a real contender. I mean, Tampa's not going to contend, I don't think, at least this year anyway, And like you said, their receiver room's young and good. They've got a good group of receivers.
But they don't have Liam Cohen.
No, they don't. No, they don't. And they've struggled since he left. But, happy for Mike Evans. I hope, for him, going to San Fran, it's pretty cool. The 3 years is probably, that third year, they're probably he won't even get there. But that first year, look, if they win a title after year one, he might be done. You know what I mean? They may be like, hey, we're going for a title. We need a deep threat. We need a big play wide receiver. We need a guy we can throw it to up in the, let him go get it kind of thing and get up in the air and beat most guys in the red zone. So
he'll beat 33 this year.
Yeah, if he stays healthy, look,
was injured last year.
Yeah,
he'll still give you a bunch of touchdowns and yards if he's still, if he's healthy.
That one has to be almost more emotional when you have somebody that's on your team that long. The sadness of losing them, of just being like, I can't picture. I mean, it's going to be so weird watching the 49ers that first week with him in a Niners jersey because it's just you get used to certain players feel like they look right in a certain jersey, and then we switch. You're like, oh, that's not good.
True story. I'm trying out for the Saints, and we're practicing against the Chiefs in 1993, right? And it's a full padded practice, and it's 7-on-7, and the second team backer gets dinged, and I got to go in there. So I'm not looking at the huddle at all for the Chiefs. I'm just trying to get the call. They break the huddle, and Joe Montana's the QB, and Marcus Allen's the running back. And I was like, oh my gosh, like they're Chiefs. You know what I mean?
You're like, where did this happen?
You two are Chiefs? Like it was just this just surreal moment, two icons in the NFL, and then they're
You're not supposed to change teams.
No, especially back then. Like, it's kind of weird. But yeah, they're gonna miss him. Of course they'll miss him. They'll miss him coming in. They'll miss his family and all that. But he'll always be a Buck.
Yeah.
I don't know who wide receiver 1 is on the 49ers.
Now Mike Evans.
Now Mike Evans, yeah.
But
I
don't
know.
know.
he
Pearsall has the connection, obviously, already with Brock Purdy.
Jennings isn't, so it's probably Mike Evans.
I mean, Christian McCaffrey's probably like, okay, thank you. Like, we'll get a little help around.
Yeah, maybe
here.
safety will back up a little.
George Kittle, when he's healthy,
they need him. They need him
healthy.
healthy.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is interesting. By the way, speaking of, I mentioned Liam Cohen. Got to see Liam Cohen at the Tom Coughlin J Fund wine tasting gala. We all got to see him and James Gladstone and Tony Baselli. And Liam, what was cool was I had just read that he talked to the Bishop Kenny girls basketball team and gave them a little pep talk.
Cool.
There's a connection there where a couple coaches, their daughters play on the BK team.
Okay, cool.
So he went and coached. He went and talked to them. And I read it was like a 20 or 30 minute long pep talk and was just as enthusiastic with the BK girls basketball team as he was with his Jags. And so when I saw him in the team meeting room, because we were invited to the sponsor reception, which shout out to the J Fund. They do such a great job.
It's so great.
They raised over $340,000 just at the wine tasting. There were over 140 wines, 25 restaurants. It was amazing. But at the sponsor reception, we got to go through the Miller Electric Center.
Right.
And on a little self-guided tour, which is super cool for people, obviously, who've never been to the Miller Electric Center. But there are parts of it that I hadn't been in either. And so we go in the team meeting room, and Liam's walking down the stairs. So I went over to him and said, hey, thanks so much for talking to the Bishop Kenny girls basketball team. And he was like, of course. And the smile on his face made me so happy. I was like, okay, I think he's finally shaken off the just gut-wrenching, heartbreaking loss to the Bills in the playoff game. And I know it's been a while, but still, he didn't seem to have that air of like just dejected sadness like he had before. But so I thought that the self-guided tour continued up the stairs. And up the stairs in the team meeting room, there was a security guard there. So that's the way I went. I was like, man, all these ladies in their heels have to walk all the way up. I get up there and the security guard's like, what are you doing? The tour goes back out the door you came in. And I was like, oh, I didn't realize that. But I was able to look through that glass door and see Shad's office. And I was like, now those are some nice digs.
Oh, yeah. And that's where the work gets done in there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know how often Shad's actually in that office, but yeah, the Miller Electric Center is great. But yeah, the wine tasting, the J Fund overall. Shout out to all the volunteers that volunteered that night.
I thought the venue was cool.
Yes, loved it at ViStar Ballpark, and for some people to walk over from the Miller Electric Center to the ballpark, other people got shuttles. But yeah, the ballpark, and it was packed.
Yeah,
It was
very
packed,
busy.
yeah.
I know Tommy and I were talking about that a little bit. I was like, that's one thing that you can look at. I mean, it's a great, when it goes to J Fund and everything they do in general, the wine gala has been amazing, but it's just growing every year. I feel like that this is my third year going, and he's, Tommy's been going from the start. I think, have you gone since the beginning of
I'm
the
usually
gala?
out of town, but I went the very first year.
Okay. And I mean, you can just see just in the 3 years I've been going, how much more popular it's getting. And I feel like people are just really, they look forward to that every single year. Just, it's a good time, but also they know it's for a good cause. And then it's a double win. And
Exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah. The first year was wild. It was like maybe 200 people. Not the taste. It was just like I don't even know if we played golf the next day. I can't remember. But Dan Marino was there. I remember that. I was like, holy cow, Dan Marino. So cool. I was like a first-year Jag player. Like, this is pretty awesome.
I saw him in person at the Combine, I want to say, or maybe a Super Bowl many years ago now. So I think it was Super Bowl Media Days. And I was starstruck.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen to me that often because in this business, obviously, we see very famous people up close and personal all the time. But the Dan Marino one, definitely stuck with me. All right, more to do on the other side, more NFL to get into. Keep it right here, Helmets and Heels, on a Big Chief Tire Monday, 1010 XL 92.5 FM.
Take the game with you.
What a turn of events!
Radio play-by-play is where you are. 1010 XL.
Helmets and Heels.
Brought for you by Green Law Group on 1010 XL.
I'm U.S. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy. The sound of a seatbelt. It's one of the most important sounds in our car. It means everyone is ready and everyone is safe. The more our kids see us put on our seatbelts, the more natural it is for them to put theirs on too. Make it a priority. Buckle up every time. Hear the sound? Make it a habit.
Paid for by NHTSA.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday. The local Jacksonville shop for fair prices and service you can trust.
I'm Chris Campione. Auto accidents can leave you feeling lost and overwhelmed. But at Campione Law, we're here to guide you with a personal touch through every step of the process. We don't get paid unless you get paid. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campion, Campion Law.
The Players' Championship returns to TPC Sawgrass March 10th through 15th. Experience golf's most iconic stage with enhanced food and beverage offerings, interactive fan attractions, and an atmosphere built for every type of fan. See the best players in the world, including world #1 Scotty Scheffler, 2025 champion Rory McIlroy, and fan favorite Brooks Koepka take on the legendary Stadium Course and the famous Island Green. Tickets available at theplayers.com.
Hey everyone, Lauren Brooks here. As we kick off a brand new year, it's the perfect time to make sure your car is ready for everything 2026 brings. I trust the team at Big Chief Tire. The Parman family has been taking care of my car for years. If you want a safer, smoother ride, start with new tires from people you can count on. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 and let Big Chief help you start the year right.
Ace Carline here for Atlantic Infinity, and yes, I'm still loving my new QX60. Right now, you can lease one or lock in just 1.9% financing for 60 months, and every new Infinity comes with the Atlantic Infinity Promise. That's over $7,000 in added value. That's one of many reasons why I bought mine there. No pressure, no games, just a great experience. Make your next ride an Infinity from Atlantic Infinity. Visit AtlanticInfinity.com or the showroom near Atlantic and St. John's Bluff.
Mortgage rates have dropped. They're expected to move lower. Home sales momentum is building. So now's the time to get your home ready to maximize your sales price. It's time to call Chad and Sandy, the proven experts to sell your home. Maybe you have concerns about putting your home on the market and getting it sold. Well, let me alleviate those for you. There's a real quick solution. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold or they will buy it. Call 414-6200 or go to chadandsandy.com. You'll find out for yourself. Chad and Sandy, the local real estate experts I trust and recommend with the sale of your home or mine. Using their proprietary Market Max system, Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Anthony and Mary in Palmco said, we needed to sell our home to move closer to family, but low cash offers weren't cutting it. Since we'd only bought a year earlier, options felt limited, but not for Chad and Sandy. Call Chad and Sandy today, or log on to chadandsandy.com.
Rolling. We're all calling rolling. The toilet's overflowing. Oh my.
When you
Got a leak and can't wait a week? Call Roland Reese Plumbing, 260-7059.
Ready to put your dream car in drive? Get solid rates for the road ahead when you finance with First Florida Credit Union. Enjoy competitive low rates, up to 90 days of no payments and budget-friendly protection plans. Whether you're buying a vehicle or refinancing, stop by a branch or apply online at firstflorida.org/autoloans. Membership eligibility required. Interest accrues during loan payment deferral period. Federally insured by NCUA. Visit firstflorida.org/autoloans.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
We continue to talk about all the crazy transactions going on in the NFL. The Tua Tagovailoa being released one, and the fact that the Dolphins have almost $100 million, $99.2 million in dead cap is absolutely wild. And then the Dolphins went ahead and got Malik Willis. He signed. Malik had probably one of the best days today. 3-year deal worth $67.5 million with $45 million guaranteed. So he went from backup to a full-time starter. So that works well. And then the Falcons are now interested in pursuing Tua, which makes no sense to me.
Well, Jeff Hafley coming from Green Bay, you could see that connection, right, with Malik.
For Malik, yeah.
Yeah.
The Falcons wanting to add another left-handed quarterback.
I don't know why anybody would want Tua. I don't know. I mean, whoever made that deal, like, never make a deal again. Like, you're banned from making deals.
Well, he's no longer a GM. The deal for Tua. Extension for Tua Tagovailoa.
I mean, and again, I felt when it happened, like it almost feels like, okay, if you draft your franchise QB, right, and in their 4th year, if you don't pick up their 5th-year option and you don't get a deal done, there's something wrong with your QB. That's the mentality out there. So I feel like sometimes these teams are like, we got to pay him. Like, we drafted him, we believe in him, we might have questions about him, but it's his 4th, you know what I mean? And they made mistakes.
Because quarterbacks only get more expensive.
Correct. Yeah, correct. And obviously they made that mistake. You know, it felt like that with Trevor. Like, now Trevor, look, last year he proved that, you know, if he keeps playing, he deserves that money. There's no doubt, and he's got it anyway, so it's good. It's good. But when they made that, a lot of people are like, what? Why? Why would you make that deal now?
Early, yeah.
But I felt like during that time, because him and Tua went back to back almost. It was almost like a pressure thing. Well, if Miami does it and we don't, what is that going to say about our quarterback? You know, hey, we picked up his 5th year, but we're not giving him a big deal like everybody else is doing. You know
the
what
quarterback has to be the leader of the team. So if the team and the franchise don't believe in the quarterback, then that's sending a message to the locker room like, well, maybe he's not the guy. And so that's why I think we do see some of those contract extensions come a little bit earlier.
It just shows that these owners are rolling in dough. I mean, they are to be able to eat $100 million in debt. Think about it. Eat $100 million in dead money for Tua, and then go out and give what's his name, Malik Willis, a 23-year deal, $1 million a year deal. You know what I mean? I mean, that's just like, okay, we'll just eat that $99 million, no big deal.
Yeah,
you know, and move on.
The thing with Tua, I mean, and it was. A lot of people were guilty in the sense of there's coming off that year where he had 4,600 passing yards. You're completing 75% of your passes. The offense looked really efficient at that time. And Mike McDaniel and Tua, everyone was like, oh, this is perfect. You have this play caller who can easy button stuff that we talk a lot about during the season, that it was working so well. And then you get Tyreek, and now you have this explosive player who has the speed that can add to it. You already have Jalen Waddle. So it felt like everything was starting to click. But that when you talk about those windows closing fast, that one slammed shut on them with things kind of spiraling out of control. And some of that is injury, and that sucks for Tua in the sense of like the concussion issues and all of that. Because if those things didn't happen, are we talking about the same scenario right now? We'll never know. Because that just affected so much. I mean, we saw with Trevor when he missed the time he did with all of the different injuries and then concussion and stuff, that when you're not practicing, it's hard to be on the same page in offenses and be ready to play on Sunday when you're not able to be out there with your team. And that was a lot of Tua's time for those couple years, was he wasn't able to practice because it was concussion or whatever or worries with that. And so they were trying to be a little bit more cautious. It is interesting. Like on the Falcons side, you talk about the mistakes they've made too. They put Kirk Cousins a buttload of money guaranteed.
$180 million.
Yeah. And then trade. Did they end up trading up? No, they just ended up taking Michael Penix, but everybody was like, whoa, that's crazy. That wasn't the expectation that year. Everyone thought they were going to take Rome Odunze, honestly, at that point in the draft. And then you take him, and then Michael Penix, again, injury, so you don't know what that looks like. Now Kirk Cousins a free agent, so you paid all that money for a quarterback who's not even going to be playing for you anymore. Michael Penix is injured and seems fine, but not great, so you don't really know what you have out of that. And then now you're paying Tua Tagovailoa to come in and be a backup quarterback, and so you don't know. Falcons fans have a little bit of concern, too, of what that offense looks like, because outside of that, you feel like you have a lot of weapons. Like, you have guys to get the ball. With Pitts and then Bijan, obviously, so you have you have a lot of weapons there, but do you have the quarterback?
Do you have the QB?
Yeah, and the Malik Willis side of stuff, I think Malik honestly could be great in Miami. Watching him several times be able to come in, and he can use his legs. He's not the most mobile guy, but when he has to, he can take off and run. He's really quick. He's really good at kind of just figuring out defenses a lot. Like this last year when the Bears played him against Dennis Allen, it was Jordan Love couldn't get anything done, and then Malik Willis comes in and scores a touchdown right away on his first drive, and that's the type of player. Granted, you don't have a lot of film, so once you get more film on guys, what does that look like? But I do think Malik Willis, between his arm and his legs, has a chance to be something in Miami. We'll see what that looks like. It's $22 million a year for them, kind of taking a little bit of a chance.
Well, and Hafley saw him every day.
Yeah.
Not just what we saw.
Yeah.
He sees him at practice. He sees him in the film room. He knows who he is and what he's going to bring.
Can you get him on the show, by the way, Jeff?
It's still risky. Yeah, maybe.
Boston College connection there?
Yeah, I used to talk to him all the time when he was at BC.
Yeah.
And then when he went to Green Bay, I didn't really talk to him too much. But yeah, I could definitely try that for sure.
Yeah. Well, now that he's not in Green Bay, I'll talk to him.
By the way,
but Malik was the darling too. Like if he can duplicate it, yeah, absolutely, it's great. But his legs will help him. Sure.
Yeah, and they wanted a mobile quarterback for sure. At the start of the River Run, we saw a guy with a Dolphins helmet on, and I joked like, "Oh, there's Tua Tagovailoa."
He was running the River Run, and what a way he's gone.
Yeah, really.
Ryan was like, "He's not a Dolphin anymore." I was like, "No, he is yet, or still,
He
but
is right now. Soon not.
he won't be. That's for sure." All right, more to do on the other side, including Lawrence Lane. Keep it right here. Helmets and Heels on a Big Chief Tire Monday, 10 XL 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show.
We stand for something. To those dead souls inching along the freeways in their metal coffins, we show them that the human spirit is still alive.
Afternoons. Why didn't we do this sooner? On 1010XL.
Helmets and Heels.
Backed by Green Law Group on 1010XL.
My son had a meniscus surgery a couple years ago. Went smooth as silk, was playing tennis in 2 weeks. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Our son Eric's a Division I collegiate baseball pitcher who is having shoulder pain. We took him to Southeast Orthopedic Specialists and are confident that he's now on the road to recovery. This is Beth Anderson, and we love the care Eric receives at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Big Chief Tire Monday on Helmets and Heels.
If your lawn took a beating this winter, listen up. Prosser here for Julington Creek Pest Control. They've just started the first of 3 rounds of premium granular fertilizer. No cheap liquid fertilizer here. Custom blended for Northeast Florida lawns. Their certified technicians apply slow-release nutrients. Rebuild your lawn thick, strong, and green over time. Plus, they protect your home from pests and termites. Call Julington Creek Pest Control today. Our family serving yours since 1984.
The offseason is when you add speed, power, and precision to the team. This is your game plan. Keep the offseason rolling with AA Automotive and 1010XL. AA Automotive on Richard Street. Family run since 1954.
Hicken here. Experience crystal clear vision with the Eye Associates, formerly Bowden Associates, Schneider Eye and Wellness Center, and Janet Betchkel, MD, Jacksonville's leader in advanced eye care. From routine eye exams to specialized vision care, their experienced team dedicated to improving and preserving your vision. The same care you've come to trust, now with a new name. To schedule your appointment today, call the Eye Associates, formerly Bowden Eye Associates, Schneider Eye and Wellness Center, and Janet A. Betchkel, MD, at 296-0098.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Firehouse Subs is adding a new heavy hitter to the roster, the Chicken and Cheddar Rancher. Grilled chicken, melted cheddar, crispy bacon stacked high with fresh toppings, and creamy buttermilk ranch. The Chicken and Cheddar Rancher, only at Firehouse Subs.
This is Jeff Middlecoff with Cogent Bank.
My associate Ryan Salem and I joined Cogent Bank because we wanted to revolutionize the mortgage business, just like Cogent Bank has revolutionized the banking business. So Ryan Salem and I are able to leverage the power and stability of Cogent Bank to go out and find our clients the best investors, the best products, and the best rates in the entire country for your particular mortgage loan. Of course, you don't have to be a customer at Cogent Bank to take advantage of our mortgage services to buy or refinance your home. We offer jumbo loans, VA, FHA, conventional, and investment loans. At Cogent Bank, we offer mortgages nationwide, so we can help you with a second home or help a family member who lives or is moving to another state. Call Ryan Salem or myself, Jeff Middlecoff, at Cogent Bank today, 904-442-9191, to see how we can help you with any of your mortgage loan needs, whatever or wherever they may be.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, Cogent Bank, NMLS ID 402296, Fine Salem, NMLS ID 1182429, Jeff Middlecoff, NMLS ID 249086.
The new Ackerman Cancer Center is now open in World Golf Village with state-of-the-art technology that detects cancer fast and accurately. Same-day appointments are available where faster answers meet compassionate care. AckermanCancerCenter.com.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Best Bet poker fans, the stakes are high this month as Best Bet dishes out over $700,000 between Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine's poker rooms. Feeling lucky? How about daily high hands, weekend winnings every Friday and Saturday, and go for the green on St. Patrick's Day, where a royal flush in clubs wins up to $5,000. See all the details at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Hi, I'm Mark Hassan, 2026 Tournament Chairman for the Players' Championship. Thanks to support from all of you, this championship can positively impact our Northeast Florida community all year round. The Players' Championship starts tomorrow.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010 XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update brought to you by Awaken 180. Former Florida Gator and PGA Tour rookie Ricky Castillo won his first PGA Tour event at this weekend's Puerto Rico Open with a score of 17 under. The SEC basketball tournament tips off in Nashville on Wednesday, but the Gators won't take the floor until 1 p.m. Friday thanks to owning the #1 seed in the tournament. It's 83 degrees at 2:01 time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Tom McManus, Taylor Dahl, Aaron Williams filling in for RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you. We will be out at the Players all the rest of this week. Trucks on 10, come and say hello. Last year, we were at a different location there by the 18 green. And so remember, Trucks on 10 this week. Love to say hello to everybody out there.
Yeah, it's a good time. It looks like weather good for the most part, other than maybe late Thursday. It looks like some rain in the afternoon Thursday. Other than that, looks like great weather for the week.
Thursday, potentially Sunday, but it's also changed a lot. At one point, there was absolutely no rain, and then I
there
saw
was like
Thursday,
a few
Friday,
days
Saturday,
of rain.
and I was like, oh no, poor Lee Smith, the executive director of the Players Championship, and everyone else that works there. But yeah, it looks like maybe we'll get through without too much.
You know, I never worry about weather. You know, unless a hurricane's coming. You know what I mean? Because I feel like, look, no,
you're not the executive director.
You ain't controlling Mother Nature. And a week out ain't going to tell you nothing because it changes all the time here in Florida.
Remember a few years ago when it was absolutely freezing for the
and it was
tournament
like
week?
misty rain and freezing, and it was not ideal at all.
I still didn't miss it because I absolutely love it. By the way, for the Players preview party, like I said, went out there. ET and I both did a little change of clothes, right, to show off what they've got in the fan shop since it was open.
That was a cool video.
A weekend. Thank you.
Yeah.
So
well done.
I am a very fast person. Like I don't really enjoy shopping, so I like to. Yeah, I'm a very efficient person. So I find one thing, I go to the dressing room, I put it on, I stand out there, I wait for ET. Jacob and I wait for ET. ET's still roaming around. Wait for ET. like 20 minutes of me standing in the outfit that I had picked out, which that part's fine, whatever. It was just hilarious because all these people thought that I worked there and was like a model for the outfit. And I was like, I know, I'm just
trying to do a video here.
And they're like, oh, do you have this in this size? And I was just like, no. And then everyone was like, you should keep that. You should buy it. I'm like, thank you. I'm just doing a video, I promise. But yeah, it was a
I heard it was
blast.
slammed in there.
It was very busy, which
Yeah.
is why once ET finally picked his outfit out, it then took him a while. But that was, of course, before the River Run on Saturday. And so since I'm going to talk about the River Run, time now for Lauren's Lane.
Now, Lauren's Lane. Opened up by Closets by Design. Imagine your home totally organized.
Y'all, it was warm out there on Saturday morning, quite warm. So shout out to all the people who attempted and then, of course, all the people who completed the River Run, 9.3 miles. And this year, the course was a little different. So it used to be once you got off the Hart Bridge, you're pretty much done, known as the Green Monster. This year was another mile.
Oh, no.
Like 1.3, basically, once you got off the bridge. And so, yeah, temps it felt like in the hundreds, even though it was like the low 80s.
Yeah.
But it was quite warm. Saw lots of people getting attended to by the fire personnel that was out there. The
How did
first
you do?
responders. We did great for us. No training whatsoever for the most part. Brian ran a few times. I ran absolutely none. My legs are very sore today. Were very sore yesterday, but made it through. Did a combo run walk. Ran probably the first like 2.5 miles, and then started to do like a run walk. Yeah, intervals. And it was basically whenever I wanted to walk is when we walked. Brian probably didn't need to walk, but I did. But it was so much fun. And shout out to all the volunteers along the course handing out water, and then of course all the people that set up their own tents and parties. Of course, there's bands at every mile too, but the people who have their own parties, those are the people that are amazing because they're handing out more than just water, as you know.
Right.
And I can only imagine 15,300 runners, how much beer and Jello shots and Fireball and all that stuff, orange slices and all that do you need for that many people?
That's
now,
a lot.
obviously, the elite people aren't stopping.
Yeah.
Right.
But the party pace people, which I'm in that category, we definitely stopped.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, are is that a qualifier for any of those runners?
It probably
any
is.
kind of
I'm
thing?
not anywhere near that.
No, I'm just wondering, like the
but
guys that don't stop. You said like
the elite ones.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm
the
sure.
serious people.
Yeah, I'm sure the
Yeah.
crazy serious.
What's it?
people.
It's a
9.3 is a 15K.
9.3.
Yeah,
right?
I think that because ETN obviously he was in like with the second wave, and that one was an hour 50. I think or 150.
It was like
whatever.
11 to 12 minute mile pace.
Yeah.
But yeah, you
Okay.
have the elite people and then you have wave one.
Yeah.
Which wave one is still the faster people, but not the quote unquote elite. Like
Yeah.
I think
Gotcha.
there were about 30 in men's and women's as far as the elite is concerned. Shout out to Brian's uncle who completed another one. It's called a streaker. If you've done every
Oh, yeah.
single one. So this year,
not naked. He's not
correct.
naked.
That is correct.
Oh, yeah. I was like, what?
They call him streakers. So
Okay.
49 years he's done the River Run.
Wow.
And there are, I
Wow.
think,
Good for him.
16 other people that have done every single one. So
Wow.
next year, the 50th, they all got to
Wow.
make it to next year and
Cool.
complete that. My cousin got a top 10% hat. So shout out to my cousin Aaron. And then I saw Eden Kindle a couple of times this weekend.
Yeah.
And Eden also got a top 10%
Nice.
hat. It's top
Really?
10% for your age group.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, yeah, way faster than me. That's for sure.
So
Yeah.
is there like like you have to finish it in a
At
certain time?
I
Like
think
what
it's,
is?
I think it's a 4-hour time limit
Okay.
by the time they
Okay.
have to reopen the streets and things like that.
Okay.
So if you're walking really slowly, you might not be able to get through in the 4 hours, and
Right.
you want to make sure you do because that's when you have the security of the police officers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, those bridges got to be tough. as
So the
heck.
first bridge, the Main Street Bridge, isn't that difficult because it's
Okay.
very early on and it's not that steep.
Okay.
The Hart Bridge,
Yeah.
especially with the sun just beaming down on us,
Yeah.
that one was definitely more difficult. And yeah, at
Are
that
those
point,
only two, or did you have to go
only
like
two.
Acosta?
No,
Nothing like that.
only those
Okay,
two, yeah.
okay.
And so they do a great job setting up the course. It goes through
Yeah, tell how's it going. 'cause I
San
have no idea.
Marco. So you start this year. We started at the shipyards,
Okay.
and then went over the Main Street Bridge, and then
Okay.
you end up in San Marco, and then you end up kind of in St. Nicholas.
Okay.
And then Atlantic Boulevard gets you to the Hart Bridge. So it kind of winds
Okay,
through
yeah.
like that. But yeah, my friend Abby, she lives along the route, which is great. She and a bunch of her husband, her baby, and then friends were also there. She had Fireball and a little water gun.
Oh,
that she was,
jeez, that's good.
she was
That won't dehydrate you at all.
I will say the water stations, I use that water. I drank some, but I also use that water to just pour down the back because it was
Hot.
hotter than what we had been accustomed to.
Yeah.
Obviously, it wasn't 95 degrees, but for early March, before you're used to
Yeah,
it.
yeah, totally.
Stops
Absolutely.
with Fireball and Jello shots. They'd be like, "Where'd Taylor go? She stopped a while ago."
My friend,
She's not going to make the 4-hour
Yeah.
mark, okay? We're
my
gonna
friend
go pick
Abby
her
that
up.
lives on the route, so she's a little over halfway. And once you get to halfway, you're like, okay, even if I walk, I'm going to be all right.
Yeah.
And so she had told me in advance, like, if you don't want to go through the full thing, you just stay right here and party with us. I was like, I can't start something and not finish it. But yeah, it was and then they have a 5K, they have a 1 mile and stuff like that. So you don't have to do the full 9.3. But I will say, if you have any inclination to walk or run whatsoever, or do that Galloway method, he passed away a couple weeks ago, so they held a moment of silence for him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. If you do want to do that at all, then I say you have to do at least one river run. You got to do at least one, just not to get the medal, but just to be able to say you did it and experience it's beautiful along, when you get to the top of the Hart Bridge, looking out over the stadium, and normally you're driving over those, and so you're missing the sights and sounds.
Yeah, 9.3.
I told Jacob Simons.
245 pounds. I don't know.
Jacob Simons, because he ran it too, obviously.
And he started with ET the first 4 miles.
He ran 3 miles with ET and then did the rest. He was like, that was my mistake. I could have, and Jacob, younger also, but ran track and coaches track. So that's kind of his thing. But he was like, you should do the 5K coming up with me. I was like, I'm not paying to run. I'm sorry.
If I run, if Taylor runs, something is chasing her.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did beat ET. I didn't tell him that I was going to say that, but we did. We weren't. I had absolutely no pace in mind, but I understand. Like, he's coming off of an injury. I'm not. But I will say the last time that I ran the whole thing was 2019, and I was curious as to how fast. I have run walked it since, but. Running the whole thing, I did it in 1 hour and 44 minutes then in 2019. So I was 36, I think, at that age. And so for him to be able to beat the 150, that was going to be really hard without training.
That's difficult,
especially with the heat.
Yeah, I don't even like driving 9 miles, so
true. But I texted him and I was like, I'm still so proud of you for finishing, right?
No,
like,
for
that's,
ET.
that's the important thing.
And by the way, he didn't train like at all. So
he said he
was
ran a
saying
total of 9 miles.
Jacob kept being like, "Are we gonna run? Are you gonna go run today?" And ET's like, "No, I'm not running." And I'm like, "Good for you." If I tried to do that after me not working out at all for the last 4 years, then there'd be a problem.
Yeah,
You
that's
don't
not
have
for
to
me.
train.
We're not built the same. Not everyone can do the same stuff. It's all good.
While
But
I'm
good
giving,
for you.
Thank you. While I'm giving
man.
shout outs, Providence boys basketball beat Miami
Yes,
Country
go
Day over the
Providence.
weekend, 51 to 43.
Boom.
So they win the 2A state championship, and that is the 4th state title for Jimmy Martin.
How about
He's
that?
such a great human being.
Yeah, no doubt.
But that is the first boys basketball championship for one of our teams since 2016.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's been that long.
Awesome.
Surprising. And then today at 5 o'clock, Go JU women's basketball. They take on Austin P for the ASUN championship there at ViStar.
All right.
Yeah, Veterans Memorial Arena.
Come on.
JU got there by beating Central Arkansas 67 to 58, and Austin P beat Stetson 68 to 52. So go JU women's basketball.
I watched a little hoop, men's and women's this weekend.
I was
LB.
shocked.
I watched the Gator game. I was too. No, I mean, I was too. That I watched the whole
Welcome
thing.
to the sport.
Yeah,
That
but
is,
I didn't watch the whole
immersive.
thing of but I watched the probably 10 minutes of fourth quarter. It was the girls, the Louisville and Duke. Holy cow, they were unbelievable.
Girls basketball is very physical.
Yeah.
People who don't watch it,
they
they're
don't
not
mess
aware of
around at all. And then watching your Gators, man, they put it to them.
Thank you for
Kentucky
tuning
didn't
in.
have a chance. Your bigs they're impressive.
Yeah, they're
I don't know,
incredibly
but
athletic.
I'm just watching. They can hit it from the outside. They're really good at rebounding. Your one guy got Defensive Player of the Year.
Ruben Chinyelu.
How about that? That's
Yeah.
pretty awesome. Yeah,
Which
they're
no
they're
surprise
well-rounded.
that if you watch them.
Oh yeah. Well, he's a leading rebounder or something. So how do you not give it to that guy?
Yeah.
You know?
And he's got a great story too from Nigeria. Didn't play
Yeah.
basketball until he was 14. We talked about this a couple weeks ago.
I think leading rebounder in the nation. I think right.
Yeah.
That's
he has
that's
so many
something.
double doubles. It's
Yeah.
honestly a surprise when he doesn't get a double double.
Yeah.
But yeah, Thomas Houck had an unbelievable game.
Yeah, he
Florida
was
started
great.
off 11-0.
Yep.
And so it was all right, just don't let him score.
Yeah.
Which obviously wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
But it was exciting.
There was the game before. Was it Tennessee that was on the channel before? Because they
Yeah.
were.
It was.
They went. The last 6 seconds of that game was 45 minutes long. I was like,
That's-
can we just watch Florida, please?
College basketball doesn't get that right. The
Yeah.
NFL gets that right. College basketball does not.
Yeah. No, it's funny because after you watch the one where it's close and then there's a new one just starting, you're like, I'm not sitting through that. Maybe at the end, I'm not watching the
Well,
first.
and that's why when you have a team that you want to pay attention to, it gets annoying when they always put on the bottom, right hand of the screen in yellow, your game will begin
Yeah.
on the ESPN app.
They had the score in the top, and the Gators were already up 11-0, and it literally was 6 seconds left, and I'm like, this is the longest 6 seconds I've ever watched in my entire life of that game because it was just foul, 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 foul. So it was a little that's frustrating. So I could imagine being a fan and wanting to turn on your game. you're already.
So we just put it on the ESPN app to watch it, which is not the end of the world, but it's still just not ideal. You want the games to finish when they're supposed to. By the way, with that win, Florida now probably a 1 seed in the tournament, which is exciting. Aaron, we have some NFL news.
No.
Uh-oh.
No.
Uh-oh. Let's hear
John Franklin Myers is going to the Tennessee Titans.
No.
It is.
Damn Tennessee.
Oh, my. Him and Jeffrey Simmons.
No.
Well, here's why the Jaguars couldn't sign him. 3 years, $63 million.
They could have. You got to get rid of a couple guys, but wow.
Yeah.
That's a scary D-line right there up in the middle.
Yeah. I mean, that's an upgrade from Sweat to him.
It sure
nice,
is.
nice pull there, man.
3 years, $63
Yeah, and then they got
million.
Jermaine Johnson on the outside. They're bulking up that line.
They are, man.
They said we can't do anything offensively, so we're just going to
try and stop
We're
people.
basically going to become as good as the Texans are on defense. And since we were just
They're
talking,
also like all the lines, the Texans and Colts lines have struggled so much. And like obviously the Jags you can take advantage of. So like if we could just get to the quarterbacks in this division, maybe you can win some games.
take their heads
No
off.
doubt.
Since we were talking Florida basketball, Todd Golden has been named the SEC's Coach of the Year.
Oh, yeah.
I
No
don't think that's
surprise.
that much of a surprise yet, but he does have 4 guys from the team that play a ton of minutes from the team. At the
I had a
national
question
championship.
for you.
5 guys,
So when they pick out the schedule in the beginning of the year, because Florida played a lot of Duke and tough Arizona.
Duke, Arizona,
Who
UConn.
picks that? Does the
Florida.
Florida does.
Yeah, it's not
He's
like
a smart
the
dude,
NFL.
that guy.
He wanted to.
Yes.
Right, but Gator fans were upset because
I
the guards
remember.
weren't playing
Right,
that
I
well yet,
remember.
and they thought he overscheduled.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So
Brilliant.
as of now,
Man.
according to one bracketology source, the 1 seeds would be Duke, Michigan, Arizona, and Florida,
Yeah.
since UConn lost to Marquette, an unranked team, and lost by
Saw that.
20 points.
Yeah.
You know that Dan Hurley was not happy.
Yeah,
after
Oh, the
that
Hurley
game.
brothers are like
Yeah.
the same, by the way they coach and they get so mad.
So
and they're
angry.
stomping around and screaming at everybody.
Which Kentucky fans were saying that Todd Golden was chirping at them, on Saturday. And it was, if you actually looked into the story, and Chris Harry reported on this, who works for FloridaGators.com and covers the team phenomenally well. There were 3 Kentucky fans that were ejected because of what they were saying to Golden.
Mm.
So
Really?
Golden talking back was just in response.
Yeah.
And then, but he's got a great edge about him.
Oh, yeah.
He and Liam Cohen are the same age. They're 40 years old. And we use that word edge for both of them similarly. Like the way that Todd Golden has Florida get up for every single game, other than those 2 losses in the SEC, but we're not going to talk about those. That was a long time ago.
I'd like to be, and a cool job would be a security guy for the head basketball coach, that has to deal with the hecklers.
Yeah.
And they don't know you're like his bodyguard
Yeah.
or anything. That'd be great.
Basically, Florida
Just
has an
kinda take
assistant
'em out.
coach named Carlin Hartman, who is that
Yeah,
big.
yeah, I saw him.
He's
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
the
he's
Bigs
big boy.
assistant
Yeah,
coach, or
yeah.
he's in charge of the Bigs. But yeah, and finally, by the way, basketball wise,
Yeah.
Queens won the ASUN tournament in men's basketball yesterday. I told Tom earlier, Taylor, they were trying to lose that game. They could not get the ball inbounded because of the press,
That's
full court
annoying.
press.
Yeah.
But I mean, at some point in time, either coach has to draw the plays up better, or the guys have to
Yeah.
understand that's fundamental basketball. You have to be able to break the
Was
press
the guy
and get
moving?
the ball in.
Because can't you move to throw the ball?
They were
Can you,
moving, but they
know
just
what I'm
you
talking
could
about?
tell they were just getting nervous.
No, I mean the guy with the ball. Can he run
Yeah, he
on?
can
Yeah,
move.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
That
yeah,
doesn't
and then
always
they were
work.
missing free throws too. But Queens ended up holding on in overtime to beat Central Arkansas. So congrats to them. And it's been fun having the ASUN tournament here in
for
Jacksonville.
sure.
All right, more to do on the other side. Keep it right here. Helmets and Heels on a Big Chief Tire Monday, 10 to XL, 92.5 FM.
Helmets and Heels from the Greenlaw Group Studios. Exclusive access, local voices, unmatched coverage. Only on 1010XL.
Get live Southeast Orthopedic Specialist leaderboard updates.
Teed up by
Atlantic Infinity, Hollis Pools, and Poor Tap Room.
After an accident, the last thing you should worry about is how you are going to afford a lawyer. I'm Chris Campione, and at Campione Law, there are no upfront fees because we don't get paid unless you do. You heard that right. We don't get paid unless you do. Our team fights insurance companies every day to pursue the compensation our clients deserve. It's that simple. Get started at CampioneLaw.com. Offices, Jacksonville and St. Augustine.
Count on Campion, Campion Law.
It's a Helmets and Heels Big Chief Tire Monday.
Spring is almost here. Is your yard ready? Lucas Tree Service, a family-owned business with over 45 years of experience, is your local certified arborist for tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for residential or commercial properties. Protect your home Boost your curb appeal and get top-notch service from a Jacksonville company. Make sure your trees are healthy and safe before summer hits. Schedule your tree inspection today at lucastreeservice.com.
Pick the hottest players at the Players.
Yes! If your golfers score the lowest at TPC Sawgrass, you could win $1,000 of jewelry from Beards Diamonds. Teed up by Endless Summer Roofing. Enter at 1010XL.com.
Did you know that an annual coating inspection can extend the life of your building by years? Catching early signs like hairline cracks, fading, and moisture intrusion helps prevent costly repairs down the road and keeps your property looking its best. Our team at Performance Painting helps you stay ahead of maintenance with professional inspections and long-lasting coating solutions. Protect your building, protect your budget. Go to performance-painting.com to schedule a free inspection. Performance Painting, repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
Get ready for spring turkey season at Green Acres Sporting Goods. Find shotguns trusted in the field from Browning, Beretta, and Benelli. Plus, the newest bows are ready to test shoot from Hoyt and Matthews. For over 55 years, Green Acres Sporting Goods has helped Northeast Florida hunters gear up with confidence. Stop by Green Acres today at the corner of Normandy and Hammond Boulevard or shop online anytime at greenacresporting.com.
This is Paige, owner of Awaken 180 Weight Loss. People ask me all the time what's healthy, and that's hard because healthy is different from losing weight. And I think that's where a lot of people struggle. There are a lot of foods out there that are healthy foods, but they're not going to support your weight loss. And that's what we're here to help with. We're here to help you get in the healthy foods that are going to help you lose weight. The Awaken 180 difference is our coaches, it's our team. You can find things online about weight loss, but you try them yourself and they just don't work. And that's because everyone is different. And that's what our coaches are so skilled at helping you figure out.
Thanks, Paige. Hacker here. Figuring it out, that's what I needed. And the reason I chose Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Not a med, not a diet plan. I wanted a solution. Do what I did and make a 180 with your health and weight. Schedule your Awaken 180 consultation today. Call 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800 or awaken180weightloss.com.
Hey Jacksonville, this is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, proud partner and orthopedic specialist of Jacksonville. We're honored that the Jacksonville Icemen rely on our team for their sports medicine and orthopedic care. We built this practice with one mission, to raise the bar for orthopedic care right here in our hometown. Faster access, smarter treatment plans, and better results. Whether you're recovering from a sports injury or managing joint pain, we're here to help you get back in the game, stronger and pain-free. Visit osjax.com to learn more. That's osjax.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's team time, Farah doesn't flinch.
I would be remiss, by the way, since we were just talking Ace on basketball, to not mention that Bobby Kennan is now the full-time head coach for UNF men's basketball, no longer the interim. Was it a difficult season for the Ospreys? Absolutely, but I think Bobby Kennan had them playing hard week in and week out, and I'm sure that they're going to invest some more in NIL because, as we know, if you don't have NIL, even in women's basketball, even in volleyball, you're not going to be able to do that well. So congrats there to Bobby Kennan. Let's get back to the NFL because it really is insane. The amount of
so much
the amount of
happening.
money that's being tossed around, that shouldn't surprise us all. But yeah, so many different signings. I feel like Arden Key now on his third team in the AFC South is a little bit of a surprise.
He
as
gets
heads to the
around.
Colts. He does get around. He absolutely
10
does.
mil a year for 5 sacks a year. How about that?
Dang it.
10 mil a year for averaging 5 sacks a year. Not a bad deal.
No, it's
Not a bad deal.
It's a great deal.
Goes back to, where do you go back? Tennessee?
No,
Where-
he
went to
Oh, the
Colts. He was.
right,
Yeah, so
from
he was
Tennessee.
Jaguars
Yep.
and then Titans for a few years, and then
Yep.
now with the Indianapolis
Yep.
Colts.
Yep. Did you see Rashawn Gary traded to Dallas?
I did.
Yes.
Yeah.
So a lot of edges. Khalil Mack signed
Yep,
for
yep.
1 year, 18 mil.
Yeah,
A lot of edges
the
not
Dallas situation is so interesting. You had one of the best pass rushers in
Yeah.
all of the NFL in Micah Parsons, and you traded him away, and now ever since then you've been trying to acquire pass rush help. I don't really understand that.
Yeah, it doesn't quite add up. But I mean, I think that too, we see some of the, when it comes to like edge rushers and scheme fits and things like that, it matters so much to a lot of DCs. So if you see new defensive coordinators come in, a lot of times you'll see them be like, I need to, kind of mix things up a little bit. You saw it with the Vikings and Texans when the Danielle Hunter or the when Daniil Hunter left the Vikings and then they got Jonathan Grenard, and everybody was kind of like, what are you doing? But Grenard's fit really well in their defense. And so sometimes it's those type of things, but sometimes it doesn't work out either. So you're taking some risk when it comes to some of those guys.
Where do you think we're looking at, if we're still looking? What position? You think running back? You think they're looking
I'd
to
take
replace
corner off the
Etienne?
table.
Yeah,
as
corner's
far
probably
as
out.
now. Yeah, running back wise, I would say yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we mentioned Rashad White. I saw Dilla talk about Rico Dowdle, which we were talking about him early in this show. I really like Rico Dowdle. If you want to talk about someone who he's coming off a 1,000-yard season, he also had almost 300 yards receiving. So it's someone who can do both. When you talk about being able to be used in the pass catching area of things, he only had 1 receiving touchdown last year and 6 rushing touchdowns in 11 starts, but 1,076 yards. And then 297 receiving yards too. So back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, by the way, and back-to-back seasons with 240-plus receiving yards. Right. So that may be a type of fit. And from what I saw, that's just projections on Spot Track, but he was projected, I think, a little over 6. So if you are getting somebody like that and you can get a Dowdle for 6 or 7 million compared to Etienne, who just got 14, that's a big difference.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. The only thing with Dowdle, I mean, I love him too, is you're telling Tootin then you're not the horse, because he would obviously split carries, I would think more of a pass catching guy would be a fit, because I think you're turning it over to Tootin, aren't you? I mean, unless you don't believe in him. And maybe they don't fully. That's the thing. Maybe
you're
they're
trying
like,
to get a third down back.
Yeah.
And if something were to happen to Tootin, you need a guy that can do that too.
Fill in.
Against the Jaguars, by the way, Rico Dowdle had 3 rushes for 12 yards. Way back in September. With
he had pretty much virtually the same stats as Etienne, almost identically.
Yeah.
So fit wise and how they used Etienne last year, but to your point, Etienne was RB1 and it felt like that. So what's that conversation look like with the Tootin or with Dowdle? Like what is he also wanting? Because he's a free agent. Does he want to come somewhere if they're telling him like, hey, you'll be more in the pass catching area and situational downs because Tootin's our guy? He may not want to come here to be that type of back.
Yeah, true. Unless the money's right.
Yeah.
And the Jags' money right now
is not right.
Not where it needs to be. Yeah.
So a lot of the guys we were thinking about are gone, right? Or we're not thinking about, but hoping maybe.
Sure. If you had a short list of different position groups, defensive tackle was certainly one that we've talked about.
Well, John Franklin definitely was, I think, on everybody's list, not just ours, but pretty much around the world. You know what I mean? He was one of those sought after guys you got to have on the inside. That's going to be a good line for them.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. It's going to be a good line.
Yeah.
The Jets did a lot of work on their defense, grabbing Osai, the rusher, Minka Fitzpatrick. I thought Minka, now granted, he's a 19, I think it's 18 mil for 1 year left on his contract at 18. I thought he'd be a great fit for next to Antonio Johnson, like even for a year. Can't fit him, but he would be.
Linebacker's another one. I thought about Alex Anzalone, but he's a
gone,
deal too.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the Bucks.
Yeah.
But
with the Bucks, right?
Yeah, so linebacker's another
like
one. We haven't seen anything about Devin Lloyd at this point in time. Does that mean that the Jaguars are circling the wagons to try to keep him? It's a question I have to ask just because we haven't seen the news.
You heard rumors
it's going to be expensive.
That Carolina was interested, but then they give Phillips a massive contract. So would they do that again for Devin Lloyd? I don't know. I don't know their situation, but that'd be great if they could figure out a way to keep Devin Lloyd.
Phillips got 4 years, $120 million.
30 a year. 30. That's insane for that guy. High sacks.
A lot.
8.5 last year.
You got that
Making
right.
$30 million a year.
Look, I think
it's just
that's free agency for you.
No doubt.
That's free agency. You always like that. That's when free agency is where we see these guys get sometimes overpaid, but sometimes it's because either teams have the money to do it and they're like, whatever, we have a lot of money to spend.
Like the Titans.
Like the Titans right now. When you look at the Raiders, Titans, Commanders, Chargers, Jets lead the NFL in cap space and what they're able to spend. So if you have it, sometimes you just spend it, and other times it's just you're like, okay, this is our biggest hole we need to fill, so we're going to overpay to make sure that this is figured out.
It's a copycat league, right? You look at New England. What they do? They bought their team to get to the championship, the Super Bowl. You look at Seattle. They spent $200 million, $100 on Darnold, but still $200 million to better your football team. That's what everyone's thinking. You know what? Hey, who cares what we
free agents. Even if you're overpaying them, that's okay as long as you get
players.
the right ones.
Yeah.
The Jaguars in the past have taken big swings and had misses as
We
well.
got more.
Yeah, but previous regimes. I'm not going to blame this regime, but
I'm looking through the. I'm sorry to cut
No,
you
you're
off.
good.
I'm looking through the window watching Aaron. Every time he gets something come across, he's like, "Oh my gosh!"
The Titans just signed Alontae Taylor.
Oh my gosh.
Whoa.
They're stacking it up there.
And J.K. Dobbins is staying with the Broncos. But
Yeah.
Okay.
The only reason I mentioned that is Cameron Wolf. I told you off air. Cameron Wolf said that the Broncos were interested in Travis Etienne,
Yeah.
who of course ended up with the Saints.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saleh is getting some weapons
He
in
is.
Tennessee.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's what it takes. You know,
Yeah.
now the question, it's all going to come down to what? Cam Ward.
Yep.
Quarterback, yeah.
Do they have
And
a
that's why
QB?
of the
And the
teams you
line.
just mentioned, the 5 teams with the
Mhm.
most amount of money, I think only the Chargers have a quarterback that's on a second-year contract that's
Mhm.
being
Yeah.
paid a lot of money.
Raiders,
The other
Titans,
ones are
Commanders,
not.
yeah.
yet.
Was it
Rookie and
Trubisky
Jaden.
going to Tennessee?
Yeah, they signed Trubisky.
That's the one you're going to have mentor your
Trubis-
Cam Ward?
Uh,
You know what I mean?
um,
It's interesting.
yeah. I mean, Cam Ward's already in it at this point,
Yeah,
and so
he's
it's
the guy.
just yeah.
Yeah, elsewhere.
Trubisky, I've heard, is a really good guy to have behind.
Okay.
He's one of those guys. I mean,
Help him
multiple
out.
Knows his
teams. He was
role.
in Buffalo. Josh Allen seemed to love him in Buffalo.
Fair.
Seems like that type of guy, and he's a good backup. He can come in, and if he needs to play, he'll be able to run the offense efficiently at least. But yeah, it's interesting when you talk about that. To your point, Lauren, because Jaden Daniels obviously is on a rookie contract. Raiders looking at Mendoza, Ward on a rookie contract, and then Chargers with Justin Herbert. Behind that is the Jets, and then behind that Seattle. So Darnold is the next that team with the next highest cap
Yep.
space who have their quarterback.
Yep.
The rest are
But you
don't.
gotta have everything else in place. That's for sure. Right leadership, right culture, right kind of guys. So and look, a lot of times it does work out, but I know a lot of times fans are like, oh man, but it doesn't always work out. You know what I mean? You can bring in all these guys, and sometimes it works great, tremendously, like it did for New England. And then sometimes it's just for whatever reason that they don't fit. They don't play the way they played before they got there. It's not a good chemistry fit, whatever the key. Because right now it's
People are very
honeymoon
good.
season. It's we love you, we love you, we love you, we love you, we love you. We're gonna give you all this money. We love you. You're gonna be the greatest. And then you get in the building, and after 2 weeks, you're like, this guy's a pain in the ass. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, you just never know how that can
You
all
hand
go.
someone a lot of money and you don't know
How they respond.
how they're going to react to that.
You're right.
Darius Williams, by the way, retired from the NFL, former Jaguar,
Oh, wow.
former Ram. He decided to call it quits, early 30s for him. And the Rams agreed to a 4-year deal with Trent McDuffie worth $124 million with $31 million.
Yeah.
That was over the weekend. He's now the highest paid cornerback. So the Rams obviously realize that they have to update and upgrade their
Yeah.
secondary because that's what prevented them from going to the
And they
Super Bowl.
grabbed another guy from KC. Was it Jalen Watson, maybe another DB?
Mhm.
Yeah, they signed him as well, I think. So
Yeah,
they're
so-
they're fixing what was their problem last year.
Yeah.
Yep. Teams continue to do
Mm.
work. All right. The golden moment awaits. We'll talk a little World Baseball Classic. I also have a quick gymnastics update for y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah. On the other side, don't go anywhere. It's Helmets and Heels on a Big Chief Tire Monday. You can find them online at WeKeepJacksRollin.com. They do everything for your vehicle that you need done, and they have thousands of 5-star reviews because they do such a great job. Come on back, 10 to 6 on 92.5 FM.
Helmets and Heels.
Protected by
Green Law Group. For the insured. Fighting for you.
your home for Florida Gators baseball is 1010XL.
Gators Knowles. 2 of the nation's top programs meet on the diamond for an early season test. Florida State and Florida. Tomorrow at 7 on 1010 AM.
Homeowners, ready to open your home to spring and shut out high energy bills? It's 31 days of spring savings with Renewal by Anderson. Right now, buy 2 windows or doors and get the third 60% off. Plus, 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months. But this offer expires March 31st. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Helmets and Heels.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday. The local Jacksonville shop for fair prices and service you can trust.
Tired of wrestling with your shower curtain like it's a fight for the last slice of pizza? Ditch the drama and say hello to a smooth, stylish glass shower enclosure from Baker Glass. Wago Glass is clean, elegant, and makes your bathroom look huge and brighter. Give your shower a makeover and feel like you're in a spa without the price tag. I'm Mac at Baker Glass. Call me and get ready to love your new shower. Let's make your shower great again. Remember, Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
The Players' Championship
Championship returns to TPC Sawgrass March 10th through 15th. Experience golf's most iconic stage with enhanced food and beverage offerings, interactive fan attractions, and an atmosphere built for every type of fan. See the best players in the world, including world #1 Scotty Scheffler, 2025 champion Rory McIlroy, and fan favorite Brooks Koepka take on the legendary Stadium Course and the famous Island Green. Tickets available at theplayers.com.
Bueller.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, pal.
Stand back, Jason. I'm gonna
Sneeze? Yeah, I saw that coming.
It's all this spring pollen, Jason. It's outside and it's inside my house, and I just can't stop. I can't stop.
Sneezing? Okay, let me help you with that.
How can you help?
At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we can improve your indoor air quality with air purifiers, UV lights, and filtration systems. Every new system we install includes high-efficiency 4-inch filters that work better and last longer, even if you forget to change them.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Life can get pretty dusty sometimes. If you spend all day, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Firehouse Subs is adding a new heavy hitter to the roster, the Chicken and Cheddar Rancher. Grilled chicken, melted cheddar, crispy bacon stacked high with fresh toppings, and creamy buttermilk ranch. The Chicken and Cheddar Rancher, only at Firehouse Subs.
Find the Celt in you. March 14 and 15 at the St. Augustine Celtic Music and Heritage Festival with Celtic bands, Highland Games, St. Patrick's Parade and more. CelticStAugustine.com. Sponsored by St. John's County TDC.
There's no doubt that we were in good hands when our son's shoulder and hip issues were diagnosed quickly by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. No matter what your orthopedic issue is, let Southeast Orthopedic Specialists take a look. You'll be glad you did.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
Well, news just keeps on flowing in today. The Tennessee Titans making use of their money. We talked a lot the last week or so about they were at the top two in cap space. So you figured they'd start spending. They had, when we had the Titans guy on last week, Lauren, we were like, so what do you think the priority is going to be this offseason? And when I tell you he listed every position other than quarterback, he just kept going and going. Yeah. And then he got through all of the offense and then was like, and then the biggest one, the secondary. And we were like, okay, so everywhere. And they're showing that right now, mainly defensive side of the ball so far when it comes to John Franklin Myers, Alontae Taylor just now, and then Cordell Flott also. Yep. So they're making some moves over there. They still need offensive line. They need weapons. That's something that they mentioned when we were talking last week too, of just having to figure that out. So still quiet on the front here, other than obviously Travis Etienne hitting the road and keeping Buster Brown, which is a big thing, and keeping Gardeck, which a lot of people should be very excited about. Those two moves, at least keeping a couple guys that have made this defense and better last year, and that's what you want, to keep the guys that make the defense better.
For sure. What's funny about Gardeck is they literally announce it at the Jags PR, and then literally he's on the Zoom right then and there.
Yeah, he's like,
hey!
All
within a minute. I was like, okay, we're jumping right into this. But yeah, I think keeping Quentin Morris, another role player for the Jaguars, but anytime you lose a player that was as productive as Travis Etienne and a fan favorite, that feels like a loss. But this is what happens in the NFL because of the salary cap. You can't keep them all. This is not baseball where the Dodgers can literally pile up all the talent and win championship after championship because they've bought them.
Yeah.
You can't really do that in the NFL. You can spend a lot like the Seahawks and the Patriots did. But look, let's be honest. A year ago, we did not see the Seahawks and the Patriots being in the Super Bowl, even with the free agent additions that they made.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's all just part of it, right? You got to have the players, you got to have everything. I think with Etienne, look, you're probably feeling a little sad now, but if they score a bunch of points and win a bunch of games, you're not going to be that sorry about it. You know what I mean? That's how it works. So Will you miss him? Sure. Will you miss him once you start winning again? I don't know. Probably not. You wish him well. He was a great Jaguar player for us. There's no doubt about that. But
you can have him on your fantasy team.
it's time to move.
It is interesting.
It's time to move on.
He reminds me a lot of Alvin Kamara. Travis Etienne does, and
Maybe
so
that's
it
why
is.
they-
I would
that's
think
why they
that's
grabbed him.
a seamless
kind of
transition.
swooping. Yeah. And that's when you say maybe you won't miss if you're winning, but then when you see if he's having games where he's having 140 yards and a touchdown, then you start being like, dang, this sucks. Yeah. And that's, it's all ifs, but you're losing somebody who scored 13 touchdowns last year and was a massive part of this offense. And there's a lot of ETN jerseys around town. It has to be one of the more popular jerseys to get if you've been a Jaguars fan the last few years, because I know when I'm out and about, that's one of the main ones. You see a lot of Trevor, obviously, right now, a lot of Travis Hunter. There was a lot of Hunter ones this last year, but ETN, I think, is the one beyond that you see the most of, and so he definitely was a fan favorite. But
By the way, his jersey is front and center, or was as of Thursday night when we were leaving the Miller Electric Center and walked by the fan shop right there. Etienne's jersey was right there, front and center, and I was like, I wonder if they're gonna replace that.
Somebody's probably in there right now.
Well, they're not retiring it, so somebody will wear
definitely
number
not
one.
retired.
Yeah,
No doubt.
yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, it's time, and the last few weeks I've been saying get ready to say goodbye to some people that you don't really want to say goodbye to, that you really like, because that's just part of what the NFL is now. You can't keep everybody, you can't pay everybody. There's several holes you still have to fix on this team, and you're in the negatives right now, so there's still things you have to figure out to clear some cap space to be able to even pay your rookies. Let's start there. You've got to have about $10 million to even get those guys in the door.
Tom, I have bad news for you. You're too expensive for us.
You gotta let me go.
You've been signed.
Can't you extend my contract out a couple years and let it, stretch it out a
We
little?
tried to restructure Taylor. We couldn't get that done. So
bummer.
therefore, you're
I'm the
too
odd man
expensive.
out.
That is
Damn,
correct. And I'm
bummer.
joking, obviously, everyone. Tom's not going anywhere. Have you been watching, Tom? I know Taylor and I have, but have you been watching the World Baseball Classic?
No,
Not yet?
not at
Okay,
all.
well, tonight at 8 o'clock, you
Yep.
can watch the United States take on Mexico in Houston.
Okay.
That, like I said, first pitch, 8 p.m. The USA is 2-0 after beating Brazil 15-5 on Friday night in Great Britain on Saturday.
Judge hit a
9-1.
bomb or something. Didn't he
He
hit
did.
it so far and hit something and hurt something or something?
Hit
something,
something,
I
hurt
saw
something.
There's a few
he
guys that
cracked
can
it.
slug it on that team. And so, tune in tonight for Mexico.
Was that
taking
the
on
I
the
Love
United States.
Schwarbs? Did he hit a home run?
Schwarber hit a home
Yeah,
run.
yeah. I know who he is.
Yeah,
He's
there
great.
was
I know who
both
he is.
the current Bregman and PCA, both the inning when they started scoring like crazy. It was like Cub, former Cub, just
Okay.
like leading the USA, which was very fun to watch on my end. But the USA has only beaten Mexico one time.
Yeah.
They're 1-3 against
Wow.
Mexico, so it's a big one today for sure.
It's not quite the rivalry that it is in maybe soccer as far as between the two countries, but certainly the baseball classic. I think it's super fun to get into. And I promised you a gymnastics update. So Florida took on LSU yesterday, right? So Florida was 4th in the country, LSU 2nd in the country. The meet was in Gainesville, senior night for the Gators. When I tell you LSU scored a 198.325, anything over 198 is amazing,
Okay.
right? But you can win meets by scoring in the high 197s. But
Yep.
LSU scored a 198.325. Florida put up a 198.45 in order to win the meet, the highest score in the nation this season.
Wow.
It was unbelievable. You saw multiple 9.975s for both teams, 9.95s for both teams. And then Selena Harris Miranda, 2 years ago, she was a transfer, but she's been one of the best on the team. She got a 10 on beam. So now Florida's 3rd in the country, still ranked behind 3rd behind Oklahoma and LSU. LSU keeps the 2nd ranking because, again, it's about scores. It's not about subjectivity.
So what's the absolute highest you can get?
I guess 198.5 would be that
Okay.
if you got 10s and everything,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Or I guess a 200,
Dang, that's
maybe
good.
a 200,
200,
actually,
okay.
something like that. But
That's
either
fantastic.
way, it was of course packed because all
Yeah.
the meets are packed. But it was unbelievable because LSU, like I said, incredibly good, coming off of a national championship. And so, yeah.
did you find out their final score first, and then Florida had to get a certain number to beat them? Was it like that?
It wasn't that neck
Okay.
and neck and down the stretch, but it was barely
Wow.
close. But because of Florida's really good scores on beam, that's
okay.
what helped. So Florida in the country, number 1 on bars, number 2 on beam, number 7 on floor, number 10 on vault. So really, really good beam workers and good on the
Got to
bars
get
as
that
well.
football program back up and running.
That's John Sumrall's
There you
job.
go.
You bet your butt.
Bottom
that is-
dollar.
Yeah, bet your bottom dollar. That is for sure. All right, one segment to go. We'll bring you the Pest today and get back to the NFL. It's Helmets and Heels on a Big Chief Tire Monday, 10 to XL, 92.5 FM.
Helmets and Heels.
Fought for you by Green Law Group on 1010 Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
PGA Tour star Ricky Fowler.
If you want to be the best, you have to practice with the best. That's why I had Southwest Greens install and maintain my putting green, and my synthetic lawn, and my chipping area, and my practice bunker area, and my bocce ball court, and our pole vaulting area.
Southwest Greens is the world's premier manufacturer and installer of putting greens, synthetic grass, chipping areas, practice bunkers, and just about anything else you want to do in your yard.
It's Southwest Greens.
Log on to southwestgreensofjacksonville.com to see what they can do to your backyard.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday on Helmets and Heels.
I'm Chris Campione. Auto accidents can leave you feeling lost and overwhelmed. But at Campione Law, we're here to guide you with a personal touch through every step of the process. We don't get paid unless you get paid. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione, Campione Law.
Frank Frangie here for Coil Fencing. Since 1927, Jacksonville has trusted Coil Fencing to protect what matters. And I trust them too. From tough chain link to your commercial project to sleek aluminum fencing your HOA will love, Coil does it all. Did you know that Coil can also install, service, and maintain those automatic gates that help protect your neighborhood or business? To schedule a complimentary consultation, visit CoilJacks.com. That's COYLE Jacks.com. Coil Fencing, A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Ahead, we build platforms for digital business. We help create your platform for digital business by weaving together advances in cloud infrastructure, intelligent operations, and modern applications. Digital business is comprised of 5 pillars. We call them imperatives because they're a must-have, not a nice-to-have. We enterprise cloud, integrated security, scaled DevOps, intelligent operations, and relentless automation. Need help with digital transformation? Ahead. Learn, grow, achieve.
Pages in your mailbox right now.
Did you know there's local savings sitting in your mailbox right now? Money Pages is packed with real coupons from your favorite local businesses. Save money at restaurants like Al's Pizza, on pet care at Forever Vets, and on entertainment for the whole family at the Alhambra Theater. Plus, make sure to download the Money Pages app for savings on the go.
Pages in your mailbox right now.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentist and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental with light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, located in Bartram Park.
Royal Pest Services, a local company you can trust. Royal Pest is a certified installer of tap insulation, which stands for thermal, acoustic, and pest control. Reduce that electric bill by adding pest protection. It's that easy. Online at royalpestservices.com.
The experts at AMCO have been fixing cars for almost 60 years. Over that time, they've gotten more complex than ever. That's why our techs undergo rigorous training and certifications, so they can fix anything, including the most complicated repairs that come with some of the latest technologies. After 60 years, there's nothing we haven't seen or fixed. It's how we know cars inside and out.
Money tight? We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at AMCOJacksonville.com.
What defines a hero? Dedication, loyalty, courage. Every day at AMCO, we serve heroes. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. From complex transmissions to simple brake jobs with flexible financing and the extra safety precautions we need. The heroes we serve don't all wear uniforms. They're people like you. At AMCO, we're proud to serve all of you. AA MCO.
Family owned and operated in Jacksonville, Orange Park, St. Augustine, and St. Mary's, Georgia.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, Aaron Williams filling in for RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you. Time now for the Pest of the Day, as always brought to you by our friends at Terminix. You can find them online at Terminix.com. That's TERMINIX.com. They do a great job taking care of any pest issues at Everbank Stadium, ViStar Ballpark, ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena, or any of your favorite event venues around town, just like they do at our house. All right, so the pest is the rumors that the split up of Dak Prescott and his fiancee, Sarah Jane, was over a prenup. We want prenup. We want prenup. It was not due to a prenup. Apparently, she comes from a wealthy family. It just has to do with an argument. So stop saying
one argument.
Apparently, it was a massive argument after their bachelorette party. So I wonder about infidelity.
I wonder what happened at
More
those
than-
parties.
Right, more than I do money. But I just don't like how everyone just assumes because a rumor gets floated out that the chick is the one who won't sign the prenup and then therefore the marriage is off. Like, it's not that simple, everybody.
Right. But the majority of the time it is. Not.
I have to
No, I feel
defend
like
us
a lot
ladies.
of, I think too much now we see most of the college football, the NFL players are marrying women who are also in some sport or are influencers and they have their own money a lot of times. So they don't really need the men's money anymore, maybe like they used to. But people aren't used to that. They're used to like these pretty women just being like trophy wives. And it's just now all these women make money on their Instagram just posting pictures of themselves. So they like, and probably
As trophy wives.
not more than, no, because she can support him when he gets hurt and can't play football anymore. But Dak, makes a lot of money. Dak makes insane money.
Tom's the best of the day today because he's going along with these.
I'm just saying, the majority of the time, it is that way. I mean,
Maybe back in your day, the old days.
I mean, there's only so many influencers that are married.
There's a
to
lot
guys.
of influence. No, there's a lot.
It's interesting.
It's a
When I
lot.
was at the players preview on Friday, there was a woman there that I have seen as an influencer for many years, and getting to see her in person. You know, you always assess someone's looks like on Instagram versus reality, right? Just as beautiful in person as
Who was it?
as on Instagram. Her name's Aubrey Asplin Alley, and she's a big Jags fan, and then also was there for the golf tournament and the.
Oh,
party, but-
I know her.
See?
Yeah, I know her family actually.
Okay.
The Alley family. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I didn't end up chit-chatting with her just because she was busy doing some other stuff and obviously taking a bunch of pictures and videos, and that's what, you do there. But yeah, I was like, here we go. And I have no idea their, between her and her husband, like their income
Yeah.
situation. But as we know, like you said, Taylor, like influencers nowadays can make a ton
So
of
much money. Yeah, it gets insane. And like you watch, because I follow a good amount of like players' wives on Instagram, and almost every single one of them is an influencer in some way now, because they can say like, oh, my husband is so and so, and they get paid to talk about Dunkin' Donuts or like whatever the case may be. It's so easy for them to make money to just post a picture of like, here's my morning routine, and here's my outfit of the day, and here is this. And so why not take advantage of that
Yeah,
if that's
I can't
all you
wait
have
to
to
watch
do?
all that stuff.
Well, that's not your. That's some
I
women
wouldn't want
do.
to see the player do it either.
I could have made the Saints be
Well,
my
you don't
best
want
of
them
the
to have a
day.
podcast either, and they're making extra money from that. So
No,
I-
especially when they don't play well.
Yeah.
That's valid. I could have made the Saints the pest of the day since they were able to sign Travis Etienne Jr., but as we know, that's how the business goes. But let's say hello to the Frangie Show.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnik. Nimnik Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnik Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Hayes Carline joins us now from Sawgrass for the Haight Classic. Hayes, what's more impressive, Buster Brown's new deal or the fact that Frank got a hole-in-one?
Well, it's got to be the Frangie hole-in-one. I mean, if you guys thought we were going to talk NFL free agency, Jaguars, Gators basketball, you can put that thought right out of your head. We are going to go meticulously through every decision and the execution that led to Frank Frangie's first ever hole-in-one. So that coming up on the Frangie Show. But yes, we're out here at the Haight. It's gorgeous as usual out here, and we'll certainly enjoy being joined by Coach Schroeder and Nick Morrow. Obviously, big news in UNF over the weekend with Bobby Kinnan getting the full-time job, so that's certainly very exciting. We're very happy for him, and so yeah, lots to get to coming up on the Frangie Show.
Yeah, I wonder if Coach Schroeder has ever had a hole-in-one.
We'll have to ask him.
Yeah, for sure. Look, Etienne to the Saints, and then we haven't heard anything about Devin Lloyd.
Yeah, that's a little surprising on Devin Lloyd because again, it was 10 minutes into legal tampering and Kenneth Walker was on his way to Kansas City. So we know that these things can certainly move very quickly. So the fact that, Devin Lloyd is not done yet is a little bit of a surprise. What that would tell me is that nobody came up with some, ridiculous offer for him. So we'll see. I mean, obviously I don't think it'll be here still, but we'll be curious to see where Devin Lloyd ends up.
All right, sounds good. Thanks so much, Hayes.
Thank you.
Yeah, like he said, they'll talk all about Frank's hole-in-one. I chatted with Frank earlier this morning, and he said it was a rousing good time there on Saturday for sure. Look, I think when it comes to Devin Lloyd, I'm hopeful maybe the Jaguars can find somehow, some way to keep him. That's probably a pipe dream at this point in time, but the fact that it is almost 4 o'clock and the Frangie show is almost getting started and we haven't heard anything, maybe that means that the Jaguars are trying to work something out.
I mean, he was ranked top, free agent. Like, he's not gone in the initial rush. It's kind of surprising, to be honest with you.
And especially because we did see a linebacker sign with Devin Bush earlier.
Yeah, I think, obviously, like a Hendrickson hasn't gone. There's still some top guys that are still out there. So,
Quay Walker.
Yeah, there's quite a few that you would look at that were in the top, 20 of the top free agent list that still haven't gone. So I think those are some of the bigger number contracts that take a little bit more time to really get sorted out. And other than teams like, Tennessee, seems like everything you're reading is they had a list of guys that they wanted heading in, and they just got all of the guys at the top of their list. So we'll see if they trickle in some other things that they're like, oh, we got everybody we want. Now we'll figure it out. Some of those higher spending teams that we mentioned earlier may still have some big names that they're trying to work out. But yeah, I think that Lloyd, when you talk about it, was one of the guys. Tremaine Edmonds, he got signed today. So he was another linebacker that was kind of getting talked about and towards the top of the list. And so we will see. I mean, I would love for the Jags to be able to find a way to keep him. It would be fantastic. And they're also finding a way to try and get money to keep him. That's part of it too. When you look at Spot Track right now, they're back at like 2.7, negative 2.7.
Over the cap.
Yeah, over the cap. And so
you're going to have to
figure
do
some
something.
stuff out.
Probably with Eric, maybe with Trevor. I don't know what you can. I'm sure you can do something, but to free up cash. But you're going to have to do something if you're going to keep him. I'd love, how I feel about him. I want him back.
Game-changing linebacker in addition to Foye Luakin, who oftentimes leads the league in tackles. Like obviously that duo was phenomenal for Anthony Campanile. The Jaguars just sent out a press release that their athletic training staff was named the 2025 PFATS Staff of the Year for their exemplary work during the 2025 NFL season. So they received the Ed Block Courage Award.
All right. Excellent. Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Win the Super Bowl.
Awesome. Yeah.
Let's get that award. I just saw this thing, though, by the way. $67 million, the Miami Marlins' entire team payroll. Tua Tagovailoa's dead cap hit, $99 million.
Oh, yeah.
Ay. All right, that'll do it for us. We will be at the Players the rest of this week. Trucks on 10 for Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, Aaron Williams filling in for RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks. These heels are made for talking. We will talk to you tomorrow, but don't go anywhere. The Frangie Show live from the Hate Classic there in Sawgrass comes up next, right here on 10 to Next.